Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Alexiot's here. Sunday morning. Happy Easter Sunday. Hopefully, you have some sort of Easter celebration, whether you go to religious services or you have fun with eggs and children. Whatever you're doing, celebrate Easter. Happy Easter from the Raptor Freak here in Toronto to you. Well, we've got our last game of the regular season today. We are currently 40 and 41 with our record. I would like to see us even things out and have a nice, clean 40-1 and 41 season, 500 season. That'd be fantastic accomplishment considering the ups and downs of this roller coaster ride of a season. To finish with exactly the same amount of wins as losses actually would be a huge accomplishment because we know the Raptors would have won way more games if a couple of things had just gone a little bit better in certain ways. So ending up 500 is actually a huge accomplishment, and I do very much want them to win today. I think we have a good chance. We really, really do. And it's really because of who's sitting today. They are going to sit everybody on Milwaukee's side, guys. I'm going to tell you right now who's out. We start with Giannis. Giannis is definitely not playing today. Drew Holiday is not playing today. Chris Middleton will not be playing today. Brooke Lopez will not be playing today. Pat Connaughton will not be playing today. AJ Green will not be playing today. And Grayson Allen will not be playing today. That's 7 of their main rotation starters. And, 7 players off of their team will not be playing, including pretty much all their starters. So who does that leave? If that's all those guys are out, well, this is going to be interesting, y'all, because that means Goran Dragic may be starting today for the Milwaukee Bucks. And we're playing here in Toronto today. So I don't know. Will they play Goran? It really does seem like Goran Dragic is going to be playing heavy minutes today. So this could be very interesting for the home crowd today. I don't know. It's early. It's Easter Sunday. It could be a family kind of crowd. I don't know how venomous will be towards Goran. I hope some people that are going to the game today let him hear it. But yeah, Dragic is going to play a lot today. I'm speculating their starting lineup will look like this: like Javon Carter, Goran Dragic, Joe Ingles, Jay Crowder, and Bobby Portis. Those are the guys they'll have available. So this is really like a B or C team, Milwaukee Bucks team. And in some ways, we need to go ahead and beat their ass. They are playing for nothing. They, in some ways, do not care about this game in the least. They just want to protect their best players, and they're not even going to put them on the court. Just a chance that anything weird could happen for them before their playoff run starts. So they are not bringing any of the essential important guys and letting them play today. That it'll really be like the second team. So that's Javon Carter, Goran Dragic, Joe Ingles, Jay Crowder, Bobby Portis, Wesley Matthews, Myers Leonard, people like that will be playing for them today. On our side, we are resting guys also, guys. We are not going to have Fred, OG, and Pascal today. They are all out for today already for different reasons. Fred's is for thumb soreness. We know his thumb was hurting from a game before. OG is from a right ankle soreness. We knew that his ankle had got twisted in the last week or so. And then Pascal's just getting a game for rest. Jeff Doughton will not be available also today due to not being converted. And Otto Porter Jr. is also out, as per usual for the Raptors. Now, speculating on a starting lineup for the Raptors, I'm going to guess that we're going to probably start a backcourt of Will Barton and Gary Trent Jr. with Scotty Barnes and Precious Achiuwa at the forward with Jakob Poeltl at center. That is my educated guess as the Raptor Freak as who the Raptors will start today. I'm going to guess Barton and Trent with Barnes, Achiuwa, and Poeltl as the starters for the Raptors. That is just guessing. That's just me guessing. It could be any of them. It could be Kurloko starts. I have no idea. We'll see. But yeah, that's what I'm guessing. All right, let's see what you guys are saying in the comments this morning. Nameless is saying, bro, I've been in here with you for just about every single game for 2 years, just under a different handle. I'm an OG too. Okay, Nameless, that's right. I know you've changed your name a few times in here. Weren't you Monty Python for a while also? Monty Python. Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, you've been around for a bit. Mike's here, Logical Raptors Fanatic. A fantastic drop yesterday, Mike. I haven't watched it yet, but I saw the title and stuff on it, and then it looks like it's a really solid piece of work. I'll probably watch it today after the game. Mike's saying, no secret about when I found Lex. I came last year in September when I found Gubstown Clink. through a real one, complaining on a shallow video saying Gubs and Raptors Freak have better info. Well, that's a nice compliment. I appreciate that, Mike. And I want to say, even on top of our info, you're way more factual and in there with the facts and the numbers and the number crunching and stuff. So I will say that you are have very good info also, probably better than I do. Random is here. Good to see Random Gamer, a Philadelphia fan. Haven't seen you in a bit. Congratulations on a great season. And I do truly believe that Joel Embiid is the MVP this year. That I won't argue it, and I would like him to just go ahead and get that award. All of our Raptors are endorsing him, and a lot of people are endorsing him. You know, in some ways, he's a villain in Raptors Nation, but we have to recognize greatness. And in a lot of ways, Joel Embiid is the MVP this year. He has shown a phenomenal talent at the 5 position. And just the things that he's done and grown and the way he has, it's his year to get it. And no more Jokic bullshit. We killed them for you. Thank you. You're welcome. Philadelphia Nation. Nick Nurse found out how to destroy Nikola Jokic with his defense. And now his name is sullied and taken out of the race. In the 2-man race, you can thank Nick Nurse to a degree for that, Random Gamer, that Jokic has dropped out of the scene. But also, it really is on Embiid for stepping up really big against the top Eastern teams recently in head-to-head matchups. So, yeah, you got to give it to him. All right, Random Gamer saying, good morning, everybody. Still can't believe it's the end of the season already. Time really does fly. Good luck to y'all in the play-in, hopefully playoffs. Yeah, I don't know. Random Gamer, you know, things have gone south since Nick Nurse just totally showed his ass in the game before the game with you guys, the last game with y'all. You know, it is what it is. Whatever's going to happen is what is going to happen. I'm kind of ready for the summer myself. Since the coaches are ready for the summer, the players seem to be ready for the summer. I think we're all ready for the summer. So, yeah, Raptors camp may be shutting down early, gone fishing early with Charles Barkley and all those graphics. Yeah, as soon as maybe Wednesday. And what I'm saying is that Dr. DeRozan may be Dr. Kevorkian this week, and he may just put us out of our misery. Just a little bit of euthanasia. Yeah. We'll have to see what happens here, Random Gamer. But yeah, I don't have much hope. Jimmy Pope is a positive guy, though. Thanks, Random Gamer. Much love. See, Pope of positivity, showing love to the Sixers fan, coming in and saying hi to us. Well, we missed you, Random Gamer. Hope you had a good year, good first year in university, and everything's been good for you. Let's see. Logical Raptors fanatic saying that person who complained was completely 100% correct. I wish I knew who it was. Man, that person is a legend. The stories on things. Okay. Callie saying good morning. Happy Easter, everyone. Good morning to Callie Mayer. Hopefully it's a very non-stressful Easter where we just get some things done. It's like some people say this game doesn't matter. Well, it does to me. I want to get a 500 record. I want to end the season on a good note. We're not going to win the last game in the playoffs. We're going to be probably eliminated at some point. And I want to get one good shining victory today. And I'd like the Raptors to go ahead and get it for sure. Name is saying, that's right, my brother. Monty Python. I knew it was you. I knew it was you. As above, so below. Good morning. Side note, Izzy UFC last night. Great night. Okay, I'm glad you brought this up because this is a topic in Raptors world. All the Raptors watching the UFC fight late last night after midnight, and Nigerian Izzy took care of business with a crazy right hand. Bam! The guy had him all pinned up against the wall, and somehow, some way, bam! The dude's on the ground all of a sudden, and all the Raptors are going crazy. Scotty Barnes tweeting about that after the fight. UFC! Christian Coloco celebrating the UFC fight. Chris Boucher on his Instagram talking about the UFC fight. And then, of course, Countryman Precious Achua very much celebrating Izzy's big UFC win last night on the social media last night. You go Raptors, enjoying yourselves. And whoever's in Scotty's comments telling him to go get training, let him watch some UFC. This has been a long season. And let these young Raptors have a good time and enjoy themselves a little bit by watching the UFC fight. But yeah, I heard that it was very impressive, and that this guy is now back, baby. Yeah, and like really, it's funny. Like he did this whole thing where he fell to the ground like he's dead, and then he jumped back up like The Rock. That was so awesome. What a character that Izzy guy from Nigeria, and he's definitely a favorite among the Raptors. They're very much celebrating his victory. and they're all about it. They're all about it. It's funny. Mike's saying, salute the real ones, Project Truth always. Yeah, I think the drop was decent. I don't know how people took it. I know this season has been tough, but we're still in a great position. Masai knows what he has to do. And I hope, well, and I know he will. He'll do it. He'll do it. I know he will. He knows what he's got to do. Well, I know he's going to do it because I trust in Messiah, and hopefully he'll just do good things, and good things will happen. Yes. Yes. All right. Let's not waste time today. The game's at 1, and I want to make a kind of a short, tight little preview today. So the referees for today, the head referee is John Goble, 17th season out of Miami, Florida. He's a former teacher. His favorite movie is The Godfather. His favorite musician, he likes hip hop, salsa, and reggaeton music. His favorite app is Amazon. He'd most like to visit Australia, and his hidden talent is he's a Cuban coffee barista. I guess growing up in Miami would make you have a lot of time to become a Cuban coffee barista. Of course, John Goble has a brother, Jason, that referees in the NBA also. And John Goble was a phys ed teacher and an account executive before joining the NBA. So Goble is, let's see, where is he? He's not the worst ref for us today, but he is not a good ref for us either. We won the last game that John Goble refed for the Raptors. We win 51% of our games that John Goble's at, and the Bucks win 55% of their games. So the split is 51-55 for the Bucks with crew chief John Goble. His food is a skirt steak with black beans, rice, and fried plantains. All right, our second ref is Rodney Mott, the great Rodney Mott. He's been around forever, 26 seasons in the league out of New Albany, Indiana. He now lives in Las Vegas. His favorite TV show is Blackish. He likes the Shawshank Redemption. His favorite musician is Stevie Wonder. His favorite book is World Without Cancer. His favorite app is eBay. He'd most like to visit Jerusalem. And his hidden talent is he's a good interior designer. Did y'all know that Rodney Mott is a good interior designer? That's pretty amazing. He's also a U.S. Navy veteran with 3 years of active duty and 3 years in the reserves. His food is vegetable stir fry. All right, Rodney Mott, he's a notorious old head ref. He's been around for quite a long time. He's the worst ref for us today. We win 47% of our games when he's refereeing. We did win the last game he ref, and the Bucks win 52%. So that for a long career like that and all the winning we've done, I know the Bucks have done winning too, but they've had a lot of losing too. 47-52 for the Bucks with Rodney Mott. All three refs do not favor us. They favor the Bucks, all three of them today. But I don't think that'll matter. The thing that's going to matter today is whether we play really well and meet their talent that's on the other side. Their other side should not have as good a talent as us for sure if they're going to bench their top 7 players. So we need to just beat them no matter what. The third ref is a friendly ref, a ref we normally like, but he's more friendly to the Milwaukee Bucks. It's Aaron Smith out of Philadelphia, his 8th season as an NBA ref. His favorite TV show is Homeland. He likes the Shawshank Redemption also. His favorite musician is John Legend. His favorite book is Unbroken. His favorite app is Twitter. Really? Would you most like to visit Africa? And his bucket list is to travel to all 50 states. Aaron Smith has officiated in the G League before. He's also officiated in the WNBA at times also. His favorite meal is any breakfast meal. Now, he is the best ref for us statistically today, but he's much nicer to the Bucks than us. We win 56% of the time when he's refereeing, and we lost the last game he refed. And the Bucks win 61%. So the split on Aaron Smith, 56-61 for the Bucks. So all three refs technically favor the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, that's not going to be a very big deal, honestly. In this game, it's really about who's sitting. And the Bucks have so many guys, important guys sitting. I mean, there's no Brook Lopez. There's no Giannis. There's no Drew Holiday. There's no Chris Middleton. There's no Pat Connaughton. There's no Grayson Allen. So, we need to beat the shit out of the Bucks today, just on pride. I don't care if Pascal, Fred, and OG are out also. We have a much better bunch that can come in and step up, hopefully. I know people say, oh, our bench, though, Lex. Really? Can we afford to have 3 of our most important starters sitting out for this game and still win? Yes. And we better. We better fucking win today. You better show some pride and some effort, Raptors, and get out there and fucking take care of business and even our record up before we're done for this season. I want to see 41-41 and 500 on our record for the standings at the end of today. I don't want us to have no bullshit. I want to see like a 40-42 record. That'll fucking suck, especially against the shitty ass Milwaukee team that we're going to face today. So yeah, I'm not happy about this. We need to fucking win today. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. Click is here. Good to see Click. 2 more games to take me out of my misery with this team. Click is ready for his appointment with Dr. DeRozan. Yeah, the lethal injection of Dr. DeRozan coming to give us like Dr. Kevorkian. That's what you think it's going to happen. I don't know. Is Dr. Kevorkian going to get us? Dr. DeRozan? I don't know. It could be. You know, this game on Wednesday, this play-in game is already sold out and making beaucoup de Niro for MLSE. There's going to be a lot of money generated just from one play-in game because they have really jacked up prices, apparently. Somebody was comparing the prices of our tickets for our play-in game compared to playing games that are going to happen in Miami and I think Atlanta or other places that may have them in the West. And we have way more expensive prices, even with considering the conversion of the currency rate. That, yeah, the Raptors have very expensive play-in tickets compared to the other play-in matchups, just so y'all know. But they sold out. Of course, people are going to go. But this was an interesting thing brought up by Jack Armstrong after the game against the Boston Celtics on Friday. I watched Raptors Tonight after I do my reaction stream, just so I don't rip off those guys after the game on takes. But I always watch them after I do my stream. And one of the things that Jack said after the game, and this is really important and something that part of the reason why people should be so pissed at Nick, is that, you know, when he did that, he signaled that he's checked out and that he doesn't care about the postseason. Well, then the players show in the game on Friday that they've checked out and they don't try hard in the middle of the game and they kind of just roll over. Well, what happens is the fans don't get enthusiastic about the playoff season. They don't get enthusiastic about going into it. They get very jaded and negative, like Click is being, and like I am, as far as like, yeah, we just want to be done. What the fuck? You know, they're giving up. They've quit. And in some ways, like Jack said, that is anti-business for the NBA. That's anti-business for the MLSE when Nick Nurse quits on the team 2 weeks before the season ends. Now that's a problem because seriously, they're trying to make a bottom line. And if they're not enthusiastic and they're half-assing it, why the fuck should the fans come in full effect and support the team and spend money on the tickets and come in and do this kind of stuff? In fact, that's an important thing to do in the NBA, even if it's a charade. You got to make it seem like you're bought in and you're going for it so that you can drive ticket sales and interest in the game. Because in some ways, it's like a cascade of tapping out after Nick Nurse taps out before the Philadelphia game in the press conference. Oh, I'm tapping out. Okay, well, then the players tap out. And then you know what? The fans tap out. And we all kind of say, yeah, okay, we're done. We're done. It's been a long season. It is what it is. We'll go on and move on. And I think that's where we're at. And it sucks. Because in some ways, why the fuck would you go through the whole 82-game season and try and go through all the ups and downs just to come to this point at this point and do this and act like this? And this is why I'm so mad at Dr. Nick Nurse, is because, look, you have a PhD, you're a doctorate in sports leadership, and you just fucking derailed this whole thing. I think this whole season in the long run will be known as the season Nick Nurse quit on us. That is what we're gonna know this season for. It's like we'll have the Tampa season, we'll have the bubble season, we'll have the championship season, and we'll have the season that Nick Nurse quit on us. And that is pretty much what this season is to me at this point. The season that Nick Nurse quit on us. Yeah, there you go. Bam, 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 bam. All right, let me see what else you guys are saying in the comments. Let's see. Shere Khan is here. Rookie of the year. Shere Khan. Rookie of the year. Raptor Freak Family. Rookie of the year. Shere Khan coming in strong. Good morning, Raptor Freak Family. Battle of the B teams. Yeah, B teams. Maybe even a C team for the Milwaukee Bucks today. Maybe even a C team, man. We have to see if it's a C team. Inconsequential game this afternoon, but still glad to have a final chance to get 500 season. Mid-season is better than a tank. I had fun even with all the drama. Win 500. Shere Khan, that's sunshine coming through that window right now. He is a personification of that, walking as a human being on this land right now. Shere Khan is pure sunshine, and I appreciate you with this take. And I agree with everything here. We want to get to 500. We have something to play for. Some people say you're not playing for anything. Yeah, we're playing for pride, motherfucker. We need to get to 500. That's what we got to do. Cool Cat is here. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Happy Easter to all that celebrate. Thank you, Cool Cat, and happy Easter. Happy whatever holidays you guys like to celebrate, and whatever is going on today, whatever game, whatever holiday that's not as put on blast as Easter. If you got that going on or whatever you're doing, I just say have a happy, nice Sunday, a nice April Sunday. Yeah, Guardian Transit's here. LUKA coming to Toronto. Whoa, whoa. Now, this is the interesting thing. Now, people have tried to pry really great assets from the Toronto Raptors for a couple years now. One of those names being OG Anunoby. Very, very, very attractive player to so many teams in this league. Well, Masai never just bought into it and said, you know what? Yeah, I'll trade you OG for this person just to frivolously make a trade. No, he held on to him. Well, this is why. This is the kind of reason why you hold on to really good assets, because you like to keep them and let them keep playing for you because they're great for you. But what if drama and things happen in this league and change things very quickly, the landscape, and all of a sudden people need to be moved and switched around on teams this summer, like Luka Doncic? Well, you want to be in a position to have assets that are kind of attractive to that team that may want to trade with you. And we have that. That's the thing. There could be some really weird player movement this summer, because there's a lot of things that have gone wrong for a lot of different teams this year. And we're all going to be looking to make some sort of changes. And I think that our position and what's happened with us and Masai and Bobby knowing maybe who needs to move to help our team get better could be very interesting, because there could be a big piece going somewhere for another big piece. And the idea of Luka Doncic coming to Toronto may sound crazy like a couple of years ago, but right now there is some truth that this could be actually somehow finagled in some sort of way. If any team in this league could do it, it's Masai and what he's been able to do in the past. So yeah, that doesn't sound crazy to me, Guardian Transit. It may be a little early to talk about this, but we'll see how this summer goes. Kyrie may be the new guy in Dallas, but Luka may not want to be in Dallas. Let's just put it that way. Skater Dylan's here. Here's Boston fans coming in. Let's see if he's nice. Bigger team killer in 2024, Luka or Kyrie? Wait, you think Luka's a team killer? No, it's Kyrie. Of course it is. Kyrie managed to kill 2 teams in 1 year. Of course, he gets points for getting 2 teams killed in some ways. Although the Nets aren't killed, they've survived despite Kyrie Irving in some ways. So yeah, I would say it's Kyrie for sure. Why would you think it's Luka? He's been the common thing in Dallas, and he's been fine. He may be a little pudgy and just doesn't play defense, but he's not a team killer. Race Mode Daily saying, happy Easter all. Let's get ready for the play-in. 500 would be nice. I totally agree with this, Edmund. You guys have a great Easter. However you're celebrating, whatever you're doing. Maybe there's an egg hunt going on today. Whatever fun stuff you're doing on Easter. I hope you guys have a lot of love and fun. Yeah, I want to get ready for the play-in Wednesday. But Tuesday, we'll do some trivia on Tuesday. Tomorrow, we'll have the reaction. And then Wednesday, we'll be getting ready for that play-in game against the Chicago Bulls here in Toronto at Scotiabank Arena. Click saying, I want to see 40 and 41 in a loss in the play-in to motivate our front office to get off their ass and fix this fucking team that I love, the team we love. Okay, click. You don't want them to win today? Fuck that. I want to win today. Come on, give us at least one little happiness. Let's get 500. We've been chasing 500 for a few months right now, and we got it back finally. But then we went back down, and now we need to get it right back right at the end. And that'll be, in some ways, a moral victory. It'll be a victory to me. It'll feel good because, listen, 500 is way better than below 500. We want to be exactly 500. So, no, I don't want to lose today. Click, just to make it worse. We want to win today. And if we lose on Wednesday, so be it. I do want to win on Wednesday also, of course. But, I'm not crazy. I know that anything could happen in that kind of game. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. Cool Cat saying, yes, a Logical Raptors Fanatics YouTube clip was a good session. We'll listen to your previous clips. Yes, we like the villain Embiid for MVP. Yeah, go ahead and give it to him this year. He's going to have to get one at some point because he's always in the talk about it. Maybe he gets his this year, and I have no problem with that. He deserves it. He played very, very well this year. And even if he's a tall timber that falls all over the place and hurts people in a goonish kind of way, maybe there's some things about him that I don't really like. I cannot deny that Joel Embiid has been a very, very high level player in this season. The 50-point games, the 40-point games, amazing rebounding, the better defense, the melding of him with James Harden. In some ways, you could give half the award, not half, but a part of it to James Harden for him helping Joel get to the next level. Because in a lot of ways, James Harden has very much helped Joel Embiid excel, like get even higher. And some of it's setting him up with the great passes, and some of it's just like being a vet leader to him and teaching him like better stuff. Like some of the stuff he taught him isn't so good, like how to flop and fall all over the place. But James Harden's had a huge factor in the emergence of Joel Embiid in the last 2 years. For sure. For sure. Callie's saying, would love to see Chris, Gary, and Koloko have a great game. Yeah, I'm all about that. I'd love to see Gary rise up and show the regular Gary and finally be back to full strength for our playing game, Chicago. We need to get him off going crazy. Get going today, Gary, on Easter. You do it, Gary Trent Jr. We believe in you. Yeah, I'd love to see Koloko get some really nice long run. I think we're going to see everybody today. I think today we're going to get to see a little bit of everybody that's available for tonight. And there won't be any heavy minutes for certain individual people. Maybe Scotty, depending on how the game goes, maybe Scotty will get a big chunk of the game and play most of it. But otherwise, I don't expect guys to have to it to be very even. I expect it to be very even, and we'll see like Joe Wieskamp, Delano Banton, Ron Harper Jr., Koloko, people like that will come in for sure today. I'm pretty sure. Fiercey's here. What is Fiercey saying? Happy Easter, fam. Last game today. I read somewhere no Scotty, Precious, or OG. Guess they're aiming to focus on the play-in matchup. Well, Scotty is playing, but no Pascal. It's no Pascal, OG, and Fred. Precious and Scotty will be playing. So it's no OG, no Fred, and no Pascal today. So the three old guys, they're not playing. But everybody else is supposed to be playing. Scotty and Precious are scheduled to play today. So that's at least what is according to my sources of where I find out who's playing or not. Mike saying, big respect, Cool Cat. If you like that one, the Tampa tank is in similar fashion and ties into the recent one comparing this season. Awesome stuff. Yeah, definitely follow Logical Raptors Fanatic. Very, very, very informative and always like painting a light on things to help the fight for Project Truth. And we appreciate that. Shirkan saying new gift came out for today's game. Even with a down season, I do believe we have had progress in player development. Teams have to go through ups and downs to learn more about themselves. Scotty, OG, Baller City. In some ways, Shirkan's really right. Every player on this team did develop and get a little bit better in certain ways. In some ways, Fred's lessons are a little bit different than some of the other guys. In some ways, Pascal's lessons are a little bit different. But we could say Scotty's definitely improved over the course of the season, gotten better and better, and in certain ways flashed more brilliance and more signs of powers and things that he can have to come in the future more often. A lot of ways, Precious has been up and down. He's had a weird season. He was hurt right in the middle of it. He didn't have a strong end to his season like he did last season, which was so overwhelmingly good last year. But in some ways, he's still gotten some development this year and turned into a better player overall as the season's gone on with the ups and downs of everything. Koloko's somebody that it's hard to gauge on really how much he developed this year. In some ways, I feel like he did pretty good. The 905 stuff was really good for him. And, there's certain things that are happening with him offensively that really show that there may be some real potential with him in some ways offensively. And those are the things we need to start scratching the surface on and start going more deep into next year. So it's hard to gauge. I mean, Malachi is exactly where he's been since he started. It's not like Malachi has gotten anywhere else other than where he's been at this point. So this is a mixed bag of development and success stories as far as what's happened with our team this year. Definitely has a mixed bag. Yeah. Let's see. G saying, looking forward to our youth and bench play today, actually. Yeah. It'll be fun. In some ways, the people that hate some of those guys that are sitting out today will be like, all right, we can see the team without them a little bit and see how it goes and stuff like that. But once again, you're gonna poo-poo it because it's a shell of the Milwaukee Bucks team. But still, I don't care. They have to do this strategically. Once again, it matters when you play people in the season. You get people on the last game of the season, and then everything's tied up real nice in a bow, and they don't need to worry about putting their guys out there and possibly injure them. Well, you get the benefit of not playing Giannis. You're not playing Chris Middleton, not playing Drew Holiday, Brooke Lopez, all those guys. And that's just how it happens when you get to see the team in the season. And this is a special case because it's the last day of the season. So it'll be interesting. MSJ saying, let's just get the win. There's no reason for the Raptors to rest anyone. Well, they are. They're resting OG, Fred, and Pascal. And in some ways, I think that's a good idea, even if it seems like there's no reason. They do have nagging injuries, and give them a little extra time. And the other side is resting guys already. It would look really bad if we played them straight up with all of our guys healthy, and they sat all those guys and they still beat us. We can't have that. So in some ways, just in case they beat us today, we need to have some excuses that guys weren't out there. I know that sounds kind of stupid and dumb, but in some ways, that's the way that teams think. It's really weird. Like, there's a vendetta between the Dallas Mavericks and the NBA. This is something that has been happening for a few years because Mark Cuban is very much somebody who will stand up to the NBA and challenge them on different things throughout the whole time that he's been the owner of the Dallas Mavericks. This has been true. But now things are kind of weird and different right now because of a couple of incidents. There was a game against Golden State earlier this season that happened really weird with the referees getting confused and giving the ball to Golden State when it was actually the Dallas Mavericks possession. And it confused everyone. And then they got like an easy basket because of it. And then the Mavericks put a formal complaint in about it and wanted to contest it. Well, they denied their contest. And this really smacks of that bullshit that they do at the challenge table, where you challenge something and they go and look at it and say, no, we were right and you were wrong. Well, this is something similar to that, although what they did was really fucked up. I mean, they really did do something fucked up towards them in that moment to help the Warriors and hurt the Mavs. But they're above it. They have no accountability. They won't admit when they're wrong, the NBA. They'll just say, oh, no, you're denied. And they're going to go a step further, and now they're going to try and punish the Mavericks because they sat a bunch of people last week in a game, and they were eliminated from the playoffs, and they think it's fishy. And now they're going to go and look at whether they're sitting people like load management wise. Like, motherfucking NBA. Everybody's been doing this shit all year. And you're going to single out Mark Cuban and the Mavericks on the last week like this. Seriously, that's messed up. Every single team needs to be investigated for this, and the whole entire league. If you're going to do this to Dallas Mavericks and Mark Cuban, you better do it to every single team. You look at our game today. Yeah, all these people that are sitting on the Bucks side. Are you going to go investigate them for that? Dallas, like you're doing the Dallas Mavericks, Adam Silver? I don't think you will. So I think this is a personal vendetta, and they're personally coming after Mark Cuban because he dares to defy them or challenge them in different ways and different things. So I'm on Mark Cuban's side in this. I'm not always like on his side. I don't necessarily like the Mavericks. It's just that in this situation, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair that they're investigating them out of everybody and all the fuckery and the crazy shit with load management all season long, the tanking for Wemby, all kinds of the crazy stuff. Now, out that right at the end, you're going to come after Mark Cuban like this. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. The NBA is screwy, man. All right, let's see. Wayne's here. Good to see Wayne Strainer. Perspective, Raptors Freak. Looking at the other teams like the Lakers, the Warriors, and the Clippers are at 42 and 43 wins. I know it's different conference. However, it's a view that our conference is a tough one. For sure. For sure. Any Raptors fans that are really holding their head, and really feeling bad about this season, there are some things about this season that are just the same as a lot of teams in this league. Now, I feel bad because our team is like in disarray, and there's a lot of confusion about what the problems are with the team. But I don't feel bad about our record in some ways. I really do feel proud of it, considering just how much parity and how much evenness there's been around the whole entire league. To finish 50 and to finish 41 and 41 is kind of seems like it makes sense. Because if we look at the standings and we see how many teams are between 45 wins and 40 wins, We got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the Eastern Conference. And then you got like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's like 11 teams that are right around us that are just above 500 or right at 500 or just below. There's so many teams in this league, like a third of it, at least, that are right exactly where we're at. And they're not bad teams. They're like, some of them are really, really supposedly supposed to be good teams, like the Clippers, the Warriors, the Lakers, the Pelicans, the Timberwolves, the Thunder. Then the Mavericks are 38 and 43. That's crazy. So in some ways, where we're at is very common among a lot of teams that were mid this year. So Tom Duke is here. Happy Easter, everyone. Good luck, Raptors. You go, Tom Duke. Keep on keeping on out there in the West, Mr. Tom Duke. Yes, thank you for the wishes. Let's see. G saying, I wouldn't want LUKA. I know I look crazy, but he is so ball dominant. I would rather a Halliburton type. Exactly, though. This is why off-season trades are much better. Yeah. Yeah, that's why don't make the trade at the trade deadline. Let's see what the market looks like this summer. It could be very interesting. Isaac Campbell's got the Easter bunny. He's got a little chick and an egg. He's got a cup and he's got a raptor. So I like that. Isaac is saying in emoji talk that the Raptors are going to win the Easter Cup. That's what it says. Race Mode's saying, are we talking about white Jesus on Easter? I would be open to trading anyone on our team for LUKA. Well, this is a scenario that actually has some like real merit. It's not just like pie in the sky thinking at this point. I mean, LUKA, there's something weird. Jason Kidd said in his press conference this weekend that there's going to be some people changing on this team. That there's going to be some changes on this team for this summer, that the Mavericks are going to be blowing some things up to a degree. And I wonder what that means exactly and where things stand with people like LUKA and Kyrie. Logical saying, I think ultimately LUKA's defense and off-ball skills will hold him back from becoming a championship MVP guy. If he doesn't, a finals MVP guy, if he doesn't really change, he could be the next Harden that wastes his prime for stats. Interesting prediction. I don't say that I couldn't see that happening. I think that Mike's pretty astute with looking at it that way. MSJ is saying, and happy Easter. Let's not lay an egg here. Oh, MSJ, let's not lay an egg. Oh, that's a dad joke if I've ever heard one. Maybe the team rises from the dead and takes the chip. Oh, I doubled down. Oh my gosh. Is this guy trying to get a dunk? All right, let me see. Let's hope for a miracle this Easter Sunday. All right. You know what? You worked so hard for that. That was a 3-parter. I have to give him a dunk just for a 3-parter. Of making light of the day today, being Easter, making Easter jokes. All right, you go, MSJ. You got a dunk. Duke Rocks is here. Good to see Duke Rocks, leader of the Yahoo Fantasy League. This is the last day of the season, and Duke is sitting at 111 points this morning. Tom is in second at 98. David Saborin is in third at 97.5. It looks like Duke Rocks. I'm going to have to get your address. And I'm going to have to mail you this jersey very, very soon because you're about to win it, my man. The Bucks aren't playing for anything. They locked up first. Doubt they'll risk injury. Raps should win. Yeah, they are sitting. 7 of their top players will not be playing today, including all of their starting lineup and like Pat Connaughton and somebody Allen or something. So, yeah, they're not playing anybody today. Somebody Allen. I mean, Grayson Allen. Yeah. Or AJ Green or something. AJ Green is a wide receiver. Why do they have a player named AJ Green? That's a wide receiver for the Bengals, right? I didn't even know there was AJ Green in the NBA also. Yeah, they're not playing for anything. They're sitting guys. Yeah, this is open for us to win. The only thing that will make us lose this game is that the Milwaukee Bucks have such an amazing team system that it doesn't matter if it's their scrubbiest guys at the very end of the bench, like Goran Dragic, coming out there and beating us with their system. So we need to have pride and we need to show up and beat their ass and take this one for sure. In some ways, I really do think they're about to roll over and let us just win this, but we have to go and take this and we have to have pride and we have to go do it. And the only things that'll mess us up is the Milwaukee system and maybe that our guys are still like checked out because Nick Nurse is checked out and we're just checked out in general already. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what's up. G saying your sources are correct. Bucks are playing no starters, and Pascal, OG, and Fred are not playing. Yeah, thank you, G. They've been pretty reliable all season, and I appreciate the sources that I get my information about the injuries. I did get Friday a little bit wrong, but I had no idea that Jaylen Brown cut his hand on a vase the night before. But I did get most of the injuries right. Peyton Pritchard playing, I did not see that happening. I thought he was going to sit again. Wayne saying, I can't see the guys quitting. I know you were thinking out yesterday about our dumpster fire, but Scotty and Rico Hines have done nothing proven to be harmful to the team. We just have more work to do. I want to make this very clear. Yesterday's stream was a very much a speculation stream. Not any like a lot of stuff that I said yesterday is not necessarily true. It's very much a kind of an investigative, kind of like open thinking, kind of like thinking it through kind of exercise. It wasn't like I'm telling facts or anything that I think for sure. It's just we were really trying to parse out and figure out every single possible way that why the Raptors have had the season that they've had. And we wanted to look at all the suspects. It was kind of like a clue game. And we have Mr. Green and Colonel Mustard. And we were just kind of looking at each one and saying, well, could it have been stemming from this person or this person? I don't want anybody to think that either one of those two people that Wayne's mentioned are the root of all the problems for the Raptors this year, because I do not know. It was all speculation and just kind of going through a thought exercise of thinking about, well, where's the source of all the negativity or the problems on the team? But I have no idea who it is. And I think I'm glad that Wayne said this because I do want to make it clear. I don't think that Scotty is necessarily a problem on our team, but I'm trying to suss out where the problems are and the possibilities of who it could be. And that's the only reason why I mentioned those two names in particular. But I mentioned everybody's name to a degree about who it could possibly be yesterday and not just them. Fiercely saying Sixers bench unit won against the Hawks starters. This is development and opportunities. That's what I'm saying. In some ways, that's part of what Milwaukee's doing is they want to give these bench guys some good feelings going into the playoffs so that they come in feeling good. They're not worried about their starters and they don't want to risk getting them hurt. So they'll give some good feelings to these guys coming off the bench. I don't want to see Goran Dragic do jack shit today. I want to see him get tied up. I want to see our fans boo him. I want to see people like really like stop him and make him look bad today. I want to see Goran defeated today in the Scotiabank Arena on Easter. So yeah, because he's going to play today. He played heavy minutes in their last game with a lot of their guys sitting out. So yeah, Goran Dragic is going to be one of the main bucks today, and they may be trying to carry water and get like 20 points today. So we need to shut him down. We very much need to shut him down. G saying league doesn't want intentional tanking. The Bucks are set in their seeding. I think that's why Mavs should have been a bit less obvious. Yeah, and it does seem like they did kind of intentionally tank really quickly in recent weeks. And maybe that's why. I don't know. I don't know the threshold of what you do is really brings up their attention. Like how much can you get away with if you can load manage the Celtics flipping Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown all year and nobody looks at it in a weird way? I mean, that's what I'm wondering. Like there's so much load management going on around this whole entire league. We've done it. And it's not like nobody has done it. As everybody's done it. And I don't know. You may be right. It may be that it's just egregiously done by the Mavs in the last week or so. But I still don't think it's totally fair. If they give them any punishment or something weird, I would be like, you know what? Them losing and being who they are is punishment enough, NBA. If you're going to find them too, I mean, seriously, in some ways, you're doing a good job of safeguarding against the tanking. There was not a whole lot of tanking apparent this year as much as I thought it would be. I mean, sure, Detroit. Okay, yeah, they were tanking. Sure, Houston and San Antonio were not trying that hard this year. But for the most part, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, this Victor sweepstakes this year. I really thought there was going to be a lot of teams really blatantly trying to lose games, like in really weird ways. And that isn't the case. The Spurs had rose up and stole games from big teams all year long, even though they played really badly. You know, the Rockets and the Pistons lost a lot, and they were kind of futile in like weird places for a whole year. And some of that was on injuries for Pistons, and some of that's just ineptitude for the Rockets. So let's see. G saying, but yes, teams tearing good players to potentially tank and sit players are not getting locked into teams trading good players to intentionally tank and sit players are not getting looked into. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, every team could be guilty of doing something weird and manipulative, of sitting somebody with a non-injury. There's so many guys that are sitting, and the great thing is, all right, the having 65 games minimum is going to help with this immensely. The guys are not going to be able to get as much money if they don't play at least 65 games a year. This is going to be bad for Kawhi because Kawhi is going to have to try and play 65 games a year if he's going to want to get any awards or get any like super paydays. So it's really smart what they did with the incentive of playing 65 games a year. That's really a good amount of games, and it's about the right spot. It's not the whole too much, but that's a pretty like normal number for like wanting to wanting to get like good stat numbers, and that's a pretty good chunk of the season. 65. You're gonna miss some games, and here and there, it's just gonna happen. But I think 65 is the right number. Now, another idea that's being espoused right now by Jalen Rose, of all people, is that he thinks that the stat category winners shouldn't be by average, that they should be not looking at scoring average when they think about this points leader. They should be looking at points total. Like in that way, that could be a part of enticing people to play more games, because you have to play a lot of games to get that total up. You could have a good average and play like 65 games exactly, but you may not have as many points as the second person with the second highest scoring average because they played like 82 games. And I think that may be a way that can encourage people not to tank or take load managing games and stuff like that, is because they can't collect stats to keep up in the scoring race if they're not out there playing. And I like that idea. I don't like Jalen Rose, but that's a really smart idea to start looking at totals for rebounds, assists, points, steals, blocks, instead of looking at the average of what they get for what they do for the games. So I actually agreed with him in that one. So it's pretty cool. Mike is saying that Cuban and the NBA are going at it. After Cuban came out and said they were wrong on what they did to Kyrie on promoting that documentary, the league ain't happy with the Mavs. They are investigating the tank. Yeah, well, this has always been the case. Like the Mavericks get special treatment by the NBA because Mark Cuban's been a thorn in their side for a while. He's been really one of the biggest activists against the refs in certain ways and really watching them. It's like he's kind of done stuff that I'm doing now for a long time. He very much paid attention to the refs for a long time and watching everything, and really like he's outspoken. He's a very engaged owner, and he really is like on top of the NBA to make sure that they're on the up and up and there's not so screwy shit going on. So he's somebody that has gotten picked on by the NBA over decades. And they really do like punish him and get mad at him. He used to get fined crazy. He used to get Dennis Rodman kind of fines for shit that he would say about the league. Let's see. Cool Cat saying all the games will be played today. The West will be competitive games for sure. Yeah, the West isn't settled yet. And let me look at the West real quick. I know I ignore them a lot. It's because this is an Eastern Conference team we root for. But there's really interesting things happening with the LA teams, Golden State, and the Pelicans, because there's 4 teams and there's 2 playoff spots and 2 play-in spots. And none of those games, they're not settled yet. If I had my way, I'd like to see the Clippers and the Pelicans in the playoffs, and the Warriors and the Lakers in the play-in, playing against each other. Now, who are they playing and what do the games matter? Let's go look at NBA standings watch for the West, which is kind of exciting, very exciting. So Golden State is in Portland, and they're playing at 3:30 today. All these games are early, y'all. They're all going to end like this today. Every single game today is during the day. There's nothing tonight. This is really crazy. So Golden State is in Portland. Portland's sealed up for the day, for the year, with Dame Lillard shut down for a while. That's something they could look at. Then you got the Clippers. They're going to be in Phoenix, and that's a hard game because Phoenix is actually rolling, but they'll probably rest a bunch of guys because they're kind of set where they're going to be at in the playoffs for sure. So they probably will set a bunch of guys, but the Clippers are playing for something in Phoenix today. The Lakers have the Jazz coming in today, and Jazz have kind of packed up ship too because they're out of the playoffs for sure. So that may be an easier game for the Lakers. So in some ways, the Lakers have things kind of in their favor. They're at home, and they're going to have the Jazz. And then the other team is The Pelicans. Where are the Pelicans? The Pelicans are in Minnesota, and they'll be playing the Timberwolves, who are in the middle of the play-in bracket also. So that game may be a little competitive, especially since they're kind of next to each other, honestly. Minnesota and the Pelicans. So the Timberwolves may be able to try and get above the Pelicans and get into the higher play-in bracket. So that game really matters a lot. New Orleans and Minnesota. So yeah, standings watch on the West side, seeing where those LA teams and the Warriors and the Pelicans are, and how that could all settle out. We're pretty settled on the East. Everybody is kind of where they're exactly going to be, and that's that. It's just how it is. But yeah, that Western race, woo, 3:30 games, going to be very exciting today. Cowboys here. Good to see Bradley, the Canadian Cowboy. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Happy Easter. Hope the Raps show up and get good momentum into the play-in. Yeah, we need to win today. Just win, Raptors. Don't mess around. Just win. Give us a nice Easter present. I don't want to know chocolate bunny. I don't want no, Easter egg hunt. I just want to have a Raptors win. That's what I want for Easter. That'll be how I'll enjoy my Easter today. MSJ saying we are just 5 wins lower than we should be. Group with the Hawks, Heat, Wizards, Bulls, Cavs. Jumped with Donovan Mitchell. But the Raps should be 5 games better, in my opinion, in the 6th or 5th spot. And I like bad jokes. Right on. Right on. Yeah. Okay, cool, MSJ. Yeah, we will. I agree. We should have been higher up. All right, I'm going to write it in, Duke. I'm going to write my email into the chat, and you can see it. And then you can email me your address through that email. So in the chat, Duke, that's where it should be now. And we'll get you that Vince Carter signed UNC jersey sent to you. All right, let me see. Guardian saying it's time for our defense to get back to that shutdown mode. No 10 to 15 minute absence anymore. Boys got 48 minutes of solid play every game. I like that. We had lapses of defense, obviously, on Friday night. Lapses of everything. Wayne saying, I like our bench. Guys need to enhance their overall value, and they will be playing to prove they are worthy of our support. Yeah, these guys are going to get a good chance today. Everybody who didn't get to play in games recently, they should get a good chance to run today. We may see Ron Harper Jr. for like 15 minutes today. So it'll be fun. We'll have to see how Nick does the rotation. All right, he's got the other name up, the Faux Monty. This season went by surprisingly quickly. Glad to have had the opportunity to share it with all the legends in this chat. Bam. Well, it's not over, man. You can hang out with me all summer, too. It's not like I take a day off. I will be here every single day, 9:30 in the morning, every single day this off season. I did it last year, too. It's a grind, but I find all kinds of Raptors fun for you guys every single day. If you like trivia, if you like just speculating and talking about the Raptors during the off season, this is still the channel to be at. We will be talking about all this stuff all year. We have our off-season schedule. With Sundays are the Sunday report. It's very much like a 60-minute style day where I come in with a topic about the NBA or the Raptors, and we really kind of look at something interesting. Some of the topics in the past have been the referees and the scheduling and how the NBA does things. So the Sunday report, Monday memories. We have a memory from the Raptors history that we like to reminisce and talk about on Mondays, Monday memories. Tuesday trivia. Of course, we will have trivia games every Tuesday this summer in the off season. And then Wednesday, wild card Wednesday, we do, it's random. It's kind of a wild card. I'll make up something for that day. That's usually a day where I can do whatever. It's really wild card Wednesday. Thursday, think tank, where we all get together and we think about a subject. Like maybe we talk about LUKA Doncic on the Toronto Raptors and how that could happen and what it would look like. And that's the Thursday think tank. Friday, freak out. That's a day where I get mad or get crazy about something I feel really passionate or enthusiastic or excited about. I may have a very short burst of like, woo, and going crazy. Maybe I'm cussing somebody out. There's stuff like that. And then, of course, on Saturday, we do the Saturday Share the Love Club, and we pick an individual. Usually it's been a player in last summer. It was a player or a coach nurse or somebody, Masai. And we celebrate them. We talk about the things we love and respect about them and what we enjoy about them. The Share the Love Club, inspired by Scotty Barnes, is saying that we all need to share love. So we do that. And this summer, I'm not going to be going over all the players again like we did last year. I think we'll be doing different people than we did last year. So if we did the Share the Love Club, Nick Nurse or Masai Ujiri or Scotty Barnes last summer, we're not going to do them again this year. We're going to do different people. People like I've been thinking about doing Share the Love Club for a Raptor freaks, people that are in this chat, and also for media personalities. Like we'll probably do a Share the Love Club Jack Armstrong this summer and things like that. So yeah, that's kind of what you can expect from this channel for the off season. We have a weekly schedule of those different things on those days. The Sunday report, Monday memories, Tuesday trivia, wildcard Wednesday, Thursday think tank, Friday freak out, and the Saturday Share the Love Club. That is the schedule for this channel in the off season. So we'll be there. All right, let's keep going. MSJ saying the full Monty nameless. Is that you? Yeah, he's full Monty Python. He's had a bunch of different names here. He is one of the originals. He's right. He's just showing off his different handles. Hey, if you subscribed under so many different names, I'm all for that, Monty. You keep going. Cool Cat saying our team is not in contender mode, and we're developing still, and we are mid in a very competitive league. We did great considering all of our challenges this year. Yeah. I think that's a good, astute way of putting it. You know, we had a lot of challenges this year: injuries, scheduling, referees, internal problems, problems with like figuring out like things on the court to make it more smooth and work better. Problems with our offense, with shooting. There's been a lot of different speed bumps and problems for this team this year. And the fact that we could possibly finish 500 today is in some ways an accomplishment for sure. It is a very competitive league this year. In fact, that was one of the things that I realized this year is there weren't as many patsies. There weren't as many teams that were just like roll over and you could beat. There's so many more teams that are good and competitive and hard to beat in this league than there used to be. It used to be there's like very good teams that are very hard to beat and you play them. There's a lot of mediocre teams, and then there's some really shitty teams at the bottom. And this year, it just didn't seem like maybe we were the shitty team, and that's why. But it just didn't seem like there were many teams that were pushovers or easy on our schedule. In fact, we would catch teams that were easy pushovers in bad parts of the season where they were actually surging up, like the Orlando Magic. The Magic have a really bad record for this season, but we just happened to catch them when they were a hot streak, and they kicked our ass 2 games in a row in Orlando. It's stuff like that. This season has been very trying and difficult. And we've had bad luck when we've caught teams, and we've had bad luck when they've caught us, and we've had bad luck with referees. We've had bad luck with a lot of different things this year. And that's why I want to get all this bad luck out this season, and hopefully next season can go really smooth and positive in good ways. And yeah, I hope so. That's Nick Nurse always talks about, like, we've accumulated a lot of good faith for having bad things happen to us. Well, it has to even out. The yin and the yang of it is that you have bad stuff. What good stuff evens it out? Well, we're supposed to get a dump of good stuff at some point because we've had so much bad stuff this year. I hope so. And maybe next year, and Nick's not going to be around for it. Let's see. Mike's saying Jaylen Rose is fairly smart. Total points is more reflective of the guys with the high points and plays more the game versus resting games to have energy to get 30 every other game. Braun has been doing that. That's what I'm saying. This would encourage LeBron to play more. This was encourage Jason Tatum to play more. He wouldn't have just played like the first quarter or the first half against us on Friday if he felt like he needed to score more points. In the past, there was a really crazy scoring race that went right down the wire between David Robinson and Shaquille O'Neal. And these guys had to score a certain amount of points to beat each other. And they literally on the last day of the season went crazy and tried to score like 50-something points, the two of them, both of them, because they knew that it was that competitive and that close to be the scoring champion for the season. So on the last game of the season, like Robinson went out and got like 50 points, and Shaq went out there and tried to get 50 points also. That was so exciting and so amazing. And that's what I'm talking about. Make it the point total. I can agree with Jaylen Rose on this one. There's a lot of stuff he says that I think he's full of shit. But on this one, he makes sense. That making it about point total instead of point average, it could be very good for the league and the resting and the people sitting out too much. Cool Cat saying Dwight Powell for a bench. You want to get Powell too. He's a great defensive player, and him being a Canadian and being from around Toronto is fantastic. He is definitely somebody I would be very happy to see here. I've seen stuff he does on Team Canada, and he is just a really good defensive presence. So I wouldn't be upset if Dwight Powell was coming towards the Toronto Raptors also. That would be awesome. Lux is saying the worst center in the NBA. No thanks. You think he's the worst center? I mean, he's not a super great scorer or anything, but he really does agitate people, and he's annoying. Trust me, he's an annoying guy. I wouldn't play him at center. I'd play him at power forward. Put him next to Jakob, and you can see what he could do. Full Monty saying MSJ, I'm his evil Celtic fan alter ego. Yikes. I don't like hearing that. That's funny. He's his alter ego. Yikes. Yikes. All right, let me keep going here. All right. All right, there's my email. Amari saying, Happy Easter, freaks. I miss y'all. Been working AMs the past few weeks. 500 record for the season is still possible. Let's get it. You go, Amari Parsons. Busy in the morning, so not able to catch us live, but I'm sure catching us later at times too. Omari, check out Omari. He is a great realtor, and he can help you to find a house to buy or rent in the 905 in Mississauga. He also does Etobicoke and other parts of Toronto around here. So if you need a place to stay, Omari Parsons is your dude. Look him up in the phone book, Omari Parsons. He can help you out if you're looking for a residence or somewhere to stay in Toronto. It's good to see you, Omari. And we always know you're around. We know a lot of you regulars that don't get to be here live are watching still. And we appreciate all of you guys. MSJ saying the full Monty. Oh, God. Ah! Woo! Duke's got the email. All right, cool. I'm going to take it off here now. La, 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 la. Okay. Tom Duke is saying congratulations to Duke Rocks. That's such a good team sportsmanship kind of thing with Tom Duke here, leading the league most of the season. Tom Duke was, and it very much looked like he was going to get that Vince jersey, but very end, Duke Rocks. Rising up at the end and winning the Raptor Freak Yahoo Fantasy Basketball League this year. Yeah, you go, Duke Rocks. You guys want to see what he won? Let me show you. This is the thing. This channel has prizes for stuff. You know, we're doing stuff here. We got prizes. This is what Duke is getting in the mail when I get he emails me his address. Look at this nice Vince Carter 15 UNC jersey. You see his signature on there. I've got the certificate of authenticity, so it's all on the up and up. This beautiful powder blue UNC jersey that Isaac Campbell donated to the channel as the prize. Thank you, Isaac Campbell. Once again, we'll be going to Duke Rocks very soon. I've got the certificate of authenticity in here. We'll get that going your way this week, Duke. Fantastic stuff. Let's see. Jimmy Pope is saying, I've loved being here all year, Lex. The season ain't done. We can still make the playoffs. They can do it. You go, Pope of positivity, Jimmy. Yes, I love this. All right, we ain't done yet. We ain't done. Nick, you ready to go get on the beach and think about your future? Nah, we're making you stay here. You have to keep coaching for a little while because we ain't done yet. We're going to keep winning. Make you mad because you're ready to go to the beach and quit. No, we're going to keep winning. That's what we got to do. I'm all about that. Yeah. Tom Duke saying the biggest win streak of 2023 is still incoming, Jimmy. We have a chance. Yes. You guys are the epitome of the Raptor Freak spirit in this crazy, dismal, weird ending of our season. You guys are such a shining light in this horribleness with Nick Nurse and his bullshit. Thank you for doing this today. Thank you, Tom and Jimmy. Fiercely saying, was so nice to meet up every morning, fam. Amazing and respectful discussions. Great to have various perspectives and also kind of a support group to navigate through the season. Heart to you, Fiercely Salsera, Scotty Barnes, Twitch family original. Yes, thank you, Fiercely, for being here also. And listen, it's not over. Y'all are saying, oh, this is it. I'll be back tomorrow. This is not over. You guys can continue to come and see me. But if you listen, this also happens too. This happened last summer. Some people just want to take the summer off. I understand. I made some of the names I won't see this summer, and that's fine. But y'all come back when the season starts again, too. And if you want to check in, if you're bored and in the middle of the season and you Jones to talk about a little bit of Raptors basketball, you can come here and you'll have your outlet to talk and espouse whatever opinion and thing you think about what we should be doing this offseason. Of course, we're going to be covering the draft, summer league, all kinds of stuff, preseason. We'll get all that stuff taken care of this summer from our Raptors perspective on this channel. And we will be covering every little bit of it, every change that happens this summer, analyzing every little thing the Raptors do in the front office. And hopefully it'll be good things and we'll be celebrating and having a good time. But yeah, hearts to all of you for this great season. Even though it's been trying, it's been a successful season for us on this channel. That's right. Wayne's saying Raptor Freaks will be covering Canada's basketball tournament this summer and a goodbye to Nick Nurse episode. This is probably true, both of those. Although I think he should fix the team before he leaves. He inherited a very good team. I don't think he can fix it. If it's him that's partly broken it, I don't know if he can fix it at this point. And somebody else will come in and fix it, I think. But we will definitely be covering Canada basketball stuff this summer, WNBA in Toronto stuff, and just in general, CEBL. Who knows? So I'll be covering anything that has to do with basketball in Canada and the Raptors. The Raptors off-season things, Rico Hines runs. There was a lot of that talk last year in the summer. We watched them very closely, and we had the very close, most up-to-date news on what's happening at Rico Hines with the players and different things like that. So we were very much on top of all Raptor affairs, even in the off-season here at this channel. So let's see. Top saying this season was more frustrating than the expansion years because in those years, I expected the team to be trash. Hopefully, we can make the moves we were supposed to at the deadline this offseason. I won't agree with this. This is not more frustrating than the expansion years. We won a lot this year, and I've had very good, happy times. Pascal got 50 points in Madison Square Garden this year. Fred VanVleet broke our record for franchise assists in a game. There's been really good bright spots. And I'm not going to totally go along with this. Winning 20 games versus winning 40 games is very different. And it's very, very difficult. In some ways, top, do you really remember what the expansion years were like? I mean, I know we expected it, but it still sucked. And it still was deflating, and it was still awful, and there was no hope. That may be the biggest difference between then and now. Is back then, there was absolutely no hope for anything. And we have hope now. There is definitely hope around our team. So I'm going to respectfully disagree on this. I remember those expansion years way worse than that. And I would even say there were worse years with Bosch around on this team. There were worse years in like the expansion years, and then around that mid period between Carter and DeMar, there were some really bad years in there also. So I'm not going to make that same qualifier. If we're 500 at the end of today, nah, it's not as bad. It can be frustrating, sure. But in some ways, man, it was so frustrating. Like, I didn't even think we had any chance back then. Like, we just show up against a team and we weren't capable. Like, we weren't a good team. We didn't have guys put together in a lot of ways. They wouldn't play well on a lot of nights. I didn't think we were a very good team or capable. And that was frustrating to me. We're much more capable in some ways now. I don't know. That's a tough one for me to agree with. Cowboy is saying, I still believe. Let's go. Also, do you get a prize for being last in the fantasy league? Sorry, guys. I don't know how to play it. Respect to you, Lex. Keep up the great work. Were you last, Bradley? Actually, like, who is last? Yeah, you are last. It's all good, Bradley. Don't worry. It was just for fun. And if you guys enjoyed it, we'll do it again next season. We'll definitely do it again next season if you guys did enjoy it. Monty saying, I'm going to create another 600 accounts just to get you to 1,000. That's awesome. If you want to put in that work, you go ahead. That seems like crazy work. And how would you get that to happen? I don't know. I'm sure people do that on YouTube all the time. They have a ton of fake accounts come in, and like all of a sudden they get up. They could probably pay a service that'll do that for them. Lux is saying, what's with the rest? Are we tanking at game 82 or prepping for the play-in? I think it's prepping for the play-in. I mean, in some ways, they're nodding that they're sitting so many guys on the other side that we should do it too. In some ways, we're not going to move anywhere with our position. And in some ways, they want to rest these guys and not get any injury, just like they don't on the other side. So they're sitting Siakam, Fred, and OG. And those three guys have a little bit of nagging injuries each. I mean, Siakam's worked his ass off this whole entire season. Him taking a game off is not a big deal. And then Fred and OG are actually like slightly hurt. And that makes sense that these guys would need like some, it's just smart. It's smart. And I like it because in some ways, those are guys we already know and they're established and we know what we're going to get. And we can get something out of some of the guys that get more time today. And while they're out, that's great. So there's nothing about it that kind of bugs me. In fact, I like the idea of Scotty Barnes running the show today and seeing exactly how good we can be with just Scotty running things for the most part. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. MSJ saying this channel needs to get to 1,000. I'm going to make an effort to see that happen. Can I make a YouTube comments pitch, Lex? Of course. Of course. Do whatever you guys want to do. Part of my problem is I have other things I got to do in my life. And I put a lot of my percentage of my time into this channel already that I can't really put much more percentage of my time on promotion. And that's the biggest problem I have is I'm not actively pushing this channel in other places. People find this channel by searching on YouTube and then they watch it. And that's usually kind of how they find me. I'm not sharing it enough on Facebook. I'm not sharing it enough on Twitter. I'm just not sharing it anywhere. And in some ways, I'm not really promoting myself. And that's part of the reason why it's a slow climb. But in some ways, I don't have the time to really put any effort into that aspect of this channel because I do so much with the research and just running the channel. That's a whole other part to it that's kind of hard for me. So it's tough. It's tough. It is what it is. But I like doing it this way because in some ways I'm getting the right people. They're finding me the way that they find me. And, they stick around more likely that if I promote it a lot and I get a lot of people come in, they may come in and sub for like 2 days and then they leave. So in some ways, I'm getting the more long-term like subscribers by kind of doing it this way, but it's very slow. But it is what it is. I mean, I started with 4 people as a subscription number in September of 2021. So that's pretty good for not even 2 years that I've gotten into 600s, and that's all organically. That's just like Sue found me one day. Monty found me one day, boom, and then it's been growing that way. Amari saying congrats at Duke Rocks, well deserved. Amari had a very strong team. He did end up pretty high up in the stats too. He was 4th with Duppy Conquerors. He's a fantastic team. He had LeBron and Giannis Antetokounmpo on his team, which is absolutely amazing. I feel pretty good. I ended up 5th in the 5th spot in the end. I was very much in the bottom half, but as the season went on, I climbed up and got to 5th. Yes, yes. Duke's saying thank you guys. Yeah, good job, Duke. Seriously, that is an accomplishment. It's a long haul, and if you haven't played much and you did really good, you did really good job managing your team and having the right people to get the right stats to win the league. Yeah, check your own crews here. Let's see what check your own crews saying. Shaq didn't try to score. He put up his normal 30. A 21-year-old Shaq at the time was the scoring leader going into the last game. David wanted to win, so the Spurs let him take all the shots. He finished with 71. Yeah, that's how it went down. Yeah, and David won the scoring title because he scored enough. Yeah, so what? They did it that way. They wanted that. They wanted to do that. And then Shaq had a vendetta with David Robinson, and he dunked on his face and got really crazy, like dunks on him in an all-star game. That's kind of how that whole history went. There was definitely a battle between Robinson and Shaq O'Neal on the last day. And Robinson went crazy and scored a bunch of points. A fun guy saying, Raptorfreak Family. Yes, fun guy. Holding it down in the 905. Have fun today, fun guy. Yeah, going to the game. That's right. You go down there and get loud. Your first Raptor game. And I'm sorry you're not going to get to see many of the stars, but listen, it doesn't matter. Get down there and get loud and help us win, fun guy. You are the voice of the Raptor Freaks in the building today. Be loud and make it loud and very strong and be heard. We will hear you on the TV. Let's see. Mike's saying that's a badass jersey. Congratulations, Duke Rocks. And big shout out to Isaac Campbell for gifting it to the channel. Big respect. Yeah, that was awesome. Isaac's just awesome. He sent me this other thing too. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I may actually make this the next prize, but who knows? I have no place on my walls to put it, but it's a fantastic championship flag, a Raptors championship flag. And I just don't have anywhere to put it on my walls here. It's very big. And it could end up being one of the next prizes. A special Raptor Freak Championship flag. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll figure it all out. All right, let's keep going. Shirkan saying almost 40 people again. Let's smash the like button for the algorithm. I'm still in the Brown to Toronto camp. Not happy with Boston's toxic fan base. Would love the bright city in the north. Balance up the roster for sure. Yeah, it's unclear where Jaylen Brown is exactly with the Celtics. He showed discontent a couple weeks ago, but now he's won the Red Auerbach Award, and they're about to go in the playoffs. And he did a whole like public like interviews. He did a whole interview tour where he was talking about his relationship with Jason Tatum and how they really are kind of together, and their legacy is together, and he really values that, and he likes playing with him in some ways. So there's been signs both ways. There's been a little bit of signs that he's saying that he's upset about being the second banana and not getting to run his own team, but also at the same time he's come out and said stuff like, I understand that the partnership that Jason Tatum and I is very good and very important, and that I value it in my time here in Celtics. So there's mixed signals coming from Jaylen Brown. We'll have to see, though. Things can happen really fast. And this summer, I think, is going to be very weird for the NBA. I think this summer is going to be a very interesting summer with a lot of different stuff going on, including with our team. I think our team's actually going to have some change this year in a major way. Full Monty saying that jersey is so damn lit. I don't see the Penguin from Gotham City giving cool gifts like that over his YouTube channel. Well, I mean, that's not the first thing. You guys want to see another prize I got? All right. And this is the one for the Raptor Freak Tuesday trivia. And this is the prize that Vince Carter, Mr. Big bobblehead. That's really weird. It's like I found it at a garage sale. It's kind of a weird antique. And you see, Vince looks like Shaq. He doesn't really look like Vince Carter, but it's just a booby prize. And this is the prize for the Raptor Freak Tuesday trivia that David Saborin is online to get. And this is such a cool, weird gift or like prize that it's kind of just like, awesome. It's a Vince Carter bobblehead. Why can't you can't not like that? So yeah, and we had the JYD signed practice jersey last season when G won the trivia the first season, and he got that and a bunch of cool basketball cards. So yeah, there are prizes on this channel if you play. G is saying expansion years they would play the Barney song. Yeah, oh my gosh, I hated that so much. Expansion years, they would play the Barney song and call them the Barneys instead of the Raptors. They were very, very mocked. Yeah, we were the laughing stock. We had no respect. It was much more miserable. And see, I was already in my 20s when the Raptors started, and I was in university, and I was at Florida State, and I was wearing like Raptors gear at Florida State in like 1996, and people would make fun of me at Florida State because they were like, what the fuck is that team? That's weird. And, "Oh, what are you wearing?" and stuff like that. I mean, like, I love the Raptors. I'm from Toronto. I'm an NBA fan. And like, are they in the NBA? They didn't even know they were in the NBA because they were so new and so bad and had no respect whatsoever. It's crazy. Fiercely saying, Lex, just shared the link to your channel with your YouTube banner on my IG story. For some reason, couldn't tag or mention you, but at least it's shared. Let's go, Raptor Freak Family. Thank you, Fiercely. Anything is helpful. I mean, seriously, you don't have to, but hey, listen, I don't mind getting put on blast and like putting me in places, and hopefully we get more family. That's what I'm all about, is getting more people in here that are like-minded like us, that love the Raptors the same way we do. G saying the jerseys are cool now, but players were embarrassed to wear them back then. One player said they didn't realize they were just ahead of their time. Yeah, they totally didn't like them then. They were ugly and they were weird, but the updated versions are nicer. It's a different shade of purple. We used to use like the purple behind me on that flag is kind of the old purple, and it's uglier. Now, when they did the updated like old dinosaur purple jerseys with Kyle Lowry around the 20th year of our team, those jerseys were a different shade of purple, but it was actually more attractive. They slightly changed the Pantone code or whatever they call it, the color palette of the purple. And it's a better purple than that one on that flag behind me right there. That's from Carter year's playoff series. That's a playoff flag from like when we were in the playoffs with Alvin and Vince. And that's the purple from the original expansion. Well, it's not the same purple. The purple they used for the old expansion jerseys now is a darker purple that's actually more attractive and looks better. It's just a slight change with the tint and the color, but it looks way better. That's part of it too, is that like the older ones were uglier because they were a different purple. It's kind of weird, but yeah, this is true. Like we were called the Barneys, and they would play that song, I love you, you love me. A lot of people are using the term craptors. That's another one that'll get you booted out of here real quick. If somebody comes in here and starts saying craptors this, craptors that, yeah, I'll boot your ass right out of here real quick. Let's see. Mike's saying Barney team era was way worse. Plus, yeah, the Bargnani Calderon years were bleak. I remember times we were in a worse situation, not even close to the same dysfunctional front office we had. Yeah, there was no hope. When Rob Babcock traded Vince Carter in that way, there was very dismal time, and we really didn't have any hope. And then we were getting beat by our former franchise player in the playoffs, in a playoff series. Vince himself would put us out, and it was so horrible. And it was just like the worst. It was like a nightmare. Let's just put it that way. It was very much like a nightmare. Let's see. Captain Saber Bro is here. What's good, Raptor Freaks and Lex? Hope you guys enjoying your Easter morning. Just watched my daughter do her egg hunts. Was fun. Hoping today's game is fun watch with the youth playing. Yeah, go on, Captain Saber Bro, and save an egg for the other kids. Captain Saber Bro's daughter. I hope she had a really good time. That's a magical thing for a kid, is the Easter egg hunt in the Easter morning and looking around and trying to find the eggs everywhere and stuff like that. I never had children myself, but I remember my ex-wife and I would do Easter egg hunt for our dogs. We had 2 pugs, and we would hide dog treats all over the house like it was an Easter egg hunt. And that's how we used to do Easter back when I was married. We'd have an Easter egg hunt for the little dogs, which was awesome. It was fun. It's always fun. I can remember as a kid what Easter was like, with all the chocolate Easter bunnies and the candy, and just like that green fake grass stuff they put in the baskets. Yeah, those are good memories. Easter. Sheer Khan saying, in some ways, the summer is going to be real fun with speculation and other developments. Yeah, those early years, other than Prime Carter and Bosch, were the worst. This ain't a big deal. A midseason with drama. A-okay. Yeah, there's going to be a little. I mean, we're in a bad place right now, but in some ways, we may be in the worst part of the bad place right now. And then when we get rid of Nick, things will start trending up and start moving back towards like getting back to normal and having good things happening. Hopefully that will be true. And I don't want to keep moving in a bad direction. And that's one thing that's important with Masai's job, is that he needs to keep the ship steering. And if he's hit an iceberg for a second, he needs to steer away from that iceberg and not make sure that the ship's taking on more water because of more problems. He's got to plug that hole and keep us going. And in some ways, he's got to make those changes quick and swift this summer so that we can start the baseline and the foundation of a new regime or a new era, whatever the changes are. Like, I don't want him to wait. I don't want him to like delay on doing certain things this summer. He needs to get it going right away. And in some ways, if he changes the coach, the sooner he gets rid of the coach, the more we'll be open to get the new coach as coaches become available, or the coaches that are already available out there, like M.A. Udoka, will be more likely we can go and snatch them right away. So there's a kind of a time is of the essence kind of thing once we're done. And in some ways, losing and going out early may actually be a benefit to us, because it may mean like, okay, then we fire Nick Nurse later this week. If we get put out in the play-in, we'll fire Nick Nurse hopefully right away. And then we can work on getting that next coach almost immediately, even though the playoffs are still going and all this kind of stuff. It could be that they fire Nick Nurse next weekend and they hire M.A. Udoka as soon as next Monday, like a week from tomorrow. So, I mean, I kind of want them to be swift on this, because we want them to start building the new program and the new system and meeting the players and getting to know everything and getting organized for the draft and all this kind of stuff with a new coach, if that is what we're going to do. I don't want to wait around for Nick for a couple weeks on the beach to figure out what he wants to fucking do. Just fucking do it, Masai. He's already made the writing on the wall. Just fire his ass after the season's over, scapegoat him for our mid-season, and get a new coach, and do it swiftly if you can, because it'll really help us. Click saying, I hate our current jerseys. It's too basic, and it seems a bit like a lacking of creativity. Plus, it gives me PTSD of Tampa and the season. Need to revamp for October. I thought that the jerseys are weird too. Like some of what you're saying, Click, I can agree with. They're kind of basic, and they're kind of like, the black ones are really weird to me. The black with the red letters, they're kind of like bad guy jerseys that we wear sometimes. Like I feel like they put us in the black jerseys to be the bad guys in the setting that we're at. And when we played the Celtics the last 2 games, the first game we wore the black jerseys, but the second game we wore the white jerseys, and the Celtics wore the black jerseys on Friday. I often wonder about the optics of that. Like sometimes do we switch from black and white depending on whether we're supposed to be the good guys or the bad guys? Because that's classically how they would do in the Western. The bad guy wore the black cowboy hat and the good guy wore the white cowboy hat, the Lone Ranger. And I'm wondering if that is sometimes a symbol of how they want to like book us for the match, just like in wrestling. Are we the baby face or the heel for the night? Are we wearing our black jerseys? Are we the heel? Or are we wearing our white ones with red? And are we the face? I don't know. It's all kind of weird, kind of perception thing. I agree. They're kind of basic and weird, but in some ways, I like them. I like them that way. The whole reason why we switched to this logo, the one that's on the reserve parking fans only sign behind me, is because there were problems with our logo with some of the things that they wanted to do with like the swag in the NBA. Like the logo with the dinosaur is very like intricate, and it's not simple enough to print on like a lot of things like where it would cost more money because it needs color and it needs like the eye and it needs all this. They wanted a symbol to symbolize the Raptors that was really easy to print onto t-shirts and all kinds of swag without having all this extra cost of the design because you needed to make it like the dinosaur. That's why they made that logo, the one with the claw on the ball. That's the whole reason why they did it, is because of making it easier to print the logo on swag. That our logos before were too intricate and complicated, and they had a hard time kind of like putting it on like mass merchandised NBA swag that they make for every team. So they made us in some ways made us make that logo, the one with the claw. I don't know if you guys know the history of that, and that's part of why. Omari's saying if Nick leaves, we get Emma Adoka, we might as well get Josh Primo and all the free swinging dicks. Well, he is from Toronto. I don't think Josh Primo is going to be playing in the league anymore. I think that he's pretty much done. As far as this, like, listen, once again, Omari, I know that I painted M.A. Adoka in a weird way, but listen, in some ways, I'm all about redemption and giving people second chances. He may have figured out that he really screwed up, but in some ways, this is an opportunity. The man went to the finals the only year he had coached the head coach in the NBA. There's definitely talent in him in coaching. Now, another thing is he's got a connection with Masai. They're friends, and in some ways, that it would make sense to have him come in if he's a very high level coach and he's very good and he's cool with our front office. It does in some ways make sense. Now we do worry about his toxicness from Boston and those kind of things, but maybe he learned his lesson. Maybe Masai has a way of like safeguarding for this with our franchise, and like he learned his lesson. He's not going to do anything crazy like that here in Toronto if he came here. But I understand a lot of people may not be into him coming here. There may be a lot of people that are very thoughtful people that are in the Raptors Nation that are a little bit social justice that will reject him coming here, and they will be upset about it if it happens. But I'm not one of them at this point. Like in some ways, I want to win. And I understand that he's a good coach and that he could possibly be a very good coach for the Raptors. Now, in some ways, I also worry about him not having allegiance to Toronto. Now, if he comes in under the, Masai as being Masai's friend, he'll respect the team and take it very seriously in that respect. But sometimes I don't totally trust him. Like he's the kind of guy that may be a big name, and then all of a sudden he like screws us over and he goes and tries to coach somebody else. And that's something that was really important with Nick Nurse, is that I trusted him for this whole time that he was a coach up until 2 weeks ago. That I really knew that he took this job very seriously and honored it, and that he really cared about being the coach of the Raptors. Well, he threw that all of the window when he said what he said the other day, and that pisses me off. And that's important. As much as you want the players to buy into being the players on the Raptors, the coach needs to be that also. And that's something we got to worry about if we're getting a new coach this summer. We're going to need to get somebody that's bought in and is for Raptors, and somebody that'll stick around, and somebody who may not be using the Raptors just as a stepping stone to get to something else. That's the stuff I worry about. We want somebody long-term that'll work really well. And I was hoping that would be Nick. I really did want Nick to be our Popovich, but he's not going to be, guys. The writing's on the wall. He said 10 years is a great run. That's like telling everybody he's done. He wants to leave. Cool Cat saying Dwight Powell, small ball center, so that the Precious stay at power forward. Then power forward Precious, small forward Precious, small forward, Coloco center. That is awesome backcourt for the bench. Yeah, I don't mind. I like Dwight Powell. I think he's annoying. He's been very much a factor in games that I've seen him play where he's just annoying. He's out there and he gets in everybody. He just gets his hand into places and he's just really much involved and like active. Shere Khan is saying that Lex, do you? We love what you have here at this channel. High five, bam. You already put so much effort, need some time for life as well. We're glad Raptor Freak is here to make a day a little bit better for all of us. Thank you, Shirkan. I appreciate that. I really do enjoy doing this. I mean, I wouldn't if I didn't enjoy doing this, I wouldn't do it. Even with all the ups and downs and the sad days and the bad days, I still really love this team and just watching them and paying attention to them. And I figure if I'm going to put so much effort into keeping up on them and seeing what's happening, I would like to allow people that have the same feelings as me to have an easier way to find all the information and not have to go through everything like I do. Whether it's like watching every single interview or really paying attention on social media 24/7 as much as I can to what every little breaking news thing that has to do with the Raptors possibly could be. Following all their social media, all the players' social media, paying attention to things on Twitter, everything, all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of legwork. And in some ways, I try and cut all that out for you guys and just give it to you guys in morsels. And so you don't have to go and do all that legwork and you guys can have more productive lives outside of being a Raptors fan and get all the information still and be very much in the know anyway. So that's a big part of my goal too, is to keep Raptor fans as informed as possible on important Raptor subjects. And in some ways, keep them like kind of like, let's not get all in a tizzy about Jeff Doughton Jr. not getting converted to from his two-way. You know, in some ways, you need to have that information for people because they jump to conclusions and then they start saying, "Oh, well, Jeff's not going to be on the team now." Oh my gosh, no! We need to educate you and tell you the situation that he's probably going to be signed this summer. And some people won't know because it's left open. And in some ways, this education is important, especially in today's day and age with how bad the Raptors nation is with misinformation and people writing all kinds of crazy shit about what they think's happening and how they feel and stuff. Fun guy saying literally was the first guy here. I remember filtering through Raptors feed and found a live, and there was like 2 people in the chat right away, hooked by the sophisticated dialogue of the Raptors. Yeah, I mean, I remember very early on, it wasn't supposed to be a live chat. When I first made content, it was very much like 5 minutes. I'm just coming on, I'm filming myself live, but I didn't realize the live chat would evolve into this. I really did it live because I just wanted to do it and I didn't want to produce it. I just like, all right, film it live. Well, some people came in and actually started watching me filming it live. And then all of a sudden I noticed they could talk to me. It wasn't the way this was supposed to be. I was supposed to really much do like short content and it was just one-way street, me just putting stuff out. Like my first couple of clips, you can see that it's just me talking and I'm not talking to anybody in the chat yet. But it evolved. People like Sue and Fun Guy started talking to me, and then I was like, "Yeah, all right." And now it is evolved into this. It's very much wasn't exactly how this channel started, and it's become a two-way street. And I really do like that aspect of it. MSJ saying, "Will Toronto this summer? Any chance at a meetup, the real jerk, and this season was not terrible, just a big disappointment, the worst. Rod Black days, 2010 to 11 season. Remember Linus Kleza? Yeah, that's a name that'll bring you back to a bad part of the Raptors. You know, that was right around when we were just about to get good again, though. You know, Patrick Patterson came in that trade for Rudy Gay. And Linus Kleza was just before that, but yeah, we had to use him, and he was not reliable, and he definitely did. He wasn't the best person to be on the Raptors at that time. We're definitely going to do a meetup this summer. We usually do it at the end of August, so we'll do that meetup for sure at the end of August. We did it at Noonan's, and we had a really good time. That'll be around August 26th. That's my birthday. We usually do my birthday. We'll have a meetup. So MSJ, that'll be around when we do it. It's August, the end of August. There'll be a meetup for sure then. Let's see. I actually talked about maybe playing basketball this summer too, like getting a bunch of us and maybe going and hooping it up just for fun outside and just like playing some basketball. I could even coach some of y'all, or you could coach me. We could learn from each other. I don't know. It could be fun. Top saying, I never cared about what other people thought about the Raps. I was in the city and the energy was high. Games were fun because they were new and exciting. Mighty Mouse was great as Rookie of the Year. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was new and it was kind of like we are just glad to be there and stuff. But yeah, in some ways, it's like it's very much like a cat Grizzly Truth. It's like we just were glad to have a team. We didn't really care about winning or not. But see, I was older. I was in my 20s, and I wasn't like a kid when the Raptors started. And in some ways, I was kind of like already kind of like wanting them to get very competitive and win a lot. So in some ways, I wasn't like everybody else in the way that they were just happy to have a team. I wanted to fucking win right away. So in some ways, that's part of why I was like tortured then. I used to do crazy shit. Like I lived in Florida when the Raptors started. I wasn't actually here in Toronto, but I did go to games in the first season because I came up here to visit family. And I remember going to the Skydome and going to my first Raptors game, and like that's fall of the first season. It was right before Christmas. I went, and it was very much very a buzz, and like it was just a cool hip thing in Toronto, and it was awesome. But I would like print out every box score of the Raptors games at the beginning of the season on AOL on my old Epson printer, and I print out the box score just so I could study the box score of the first couple Raptors games. And I like really paid attention to people like Tony Massenberg and AC Earl and Jean Tabak and stuff like that. But yeah, those are good memories in some ways. But there was a lot of losing. And like I can remember at some point, like in like 3 or 4 years into the Raptors, like that John Wall, John Thomas team was so dreadful and so bad to watch. It was really, really hard to be a Raptors fan around like 98, 97, really, really bad. And then Vince showed up, and it did get better for sure. Once Vince showed up, it was a lot more awesome and better then. Let's see. Logical saying, yeah, my Vince Carter jersey is a lighter purple than my 2016-17 Dino Purple Lowry. The darker purple is better in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, they made it darker. They definitely made it darker for the 20-year anniversary Lowry purple jersey for sure than the original Raptors ones. Like the ones on my wall, the Muggsy and the Alvin and the JYD one are really ugly purple. That's really ugly purple. Like that is not a pleasant color purple. And in some ways, I wonder if they did that shit on purpose. Cool Cat saying highlights: Pascal's 52 in New York City. Yeah, starting 5. Gary Trent Jr. not. Jakob has 1,000 plus points each. Yeah. You're saying all the players having 1,000 points each. Fred VanVleet's assists joined franchise history. Pascal points joined franchise history. Pascal joins his 2 draft class with 8,000 plus points. Yeah, a lot of accomplishments, a lot of highlights, and a lot of good things about certain things about this year for sure. For sure. Shir Khan saying, oh yeah, did you hear about the report that management isn't sure if they're okay with Nick going forward? I think they're fed up with his mid coaching for a while. Good for us in the long run. Yeah, I'm sure there's a report. Like honestly, how can they be happy with him and what he did right at the end of the season? You know, I think that there's been problems with them all along. Like I really do think that that leave of absence in December had to do with Nick being pissed off with the team and having to go away. Like I don't even know if it had anything to do with anything personal in his family. I think it might have had to do with just team issues and that he was in such a bad place, like with the players or with the management, that he had to fucking leave for a couple games. And that's why Adrian Griffin was coaching around that time. I don't know. Speculation once again. But in some ways, that leave of absence, that point in time in the season is really, I'm pointing at it and looking at it. And then there was a little bit of change with him and how he was running things afterwards after that. So there's a report about this. I believe it. I would believe this one. Mike saying, I would caution coach changing expectation. The Lakers fans thought Vogel was the issue, but it was the roster and fit. And now they call for Darvin Ham's head for this season too. Masai will solve it. Well, in some ways, I don't look at this same situation. We can tell what the problems are with the Lakers. We know what the problems are with the Lakers, and we knew coaches wouldn't fix those kind of problems because the problems have to do with LeBron. Now, on our team, it's a little bit different. Now, do we have problems on our team because of a certain player like LeBron? I don't know. Probably not. I really think that, like, in some ways, the coach, like, part of it is, Mike, I can look and see exactly where we screwed up in certain games because of the coach. Like, I feel like in some ways, maybe Nick is been like really fucked up, like with his agenda with Klutch, and that he's been like not point shaving, but win shaving with our team this year. Like, think about it that way. Like where he purposely didn't coach our team well and on purpose. in certain places because we lost a lot of games that were very close where their effort with coaching and the players would have been so much better in past years that we would have overcame it and won. Like think about how many close games that we were like, man, and we didn't really have the effort or the gumption or we're coached in a way to get to that win. I, in some ways, feel like Nick might have win shaved this year. Like instead of a player point shaving during a game, I feel like he shaved wins from our record this year himself personally as our head coach. That is not out of the realm of possibility. There were a lot of fishy games this season where I was yelling at the coach because he didn't do a good job in the end of the game and having the team execute a game plan that would take us home to a win. And the crazy thing is, I've watched how he's coached this team in the last couple of years, like with Tampa. He played all out and won crazy ass games that he shouldn't have won in that Tampa season because of things like this. Well, there were games like this year that he should have won that he didn't. And in the past, he's shown that kind of moxie and guidance and leadership as a coach to take us home in those kind of situations. So this could be true that he wind shaved our team this season. I wouldn't put it past him. There seems like some weird shit. And then you couple in the very poor development, the very poor communication about sending people between 905 and the main roster. I think Nick Nurse has been purposefully sabotaging our team all season. Like, I'm really starting to believe this. Like, that David Thorpe shit sounded really crazy in the middle of the season. But if you look at the output and things that have happened on our team this year, and some of the really mystifying close losses where the game was right there for us to go and take, but we didn't rise to the occasion. Yeah, I think he wind shaved this season. Seriously. And you can't have somebody around like that. If you think that they're losing on purpose or they're not giving the best effort on purpose, and it's your coach, that's horrible. That's really bad. Really bad. Seymour saying, how did Dallas just fall like that? Something's not adding up. Ref's hit job, I call. It's called Kyrie on your team. NBA wants Kyrie to call it quits. In my opinion, world is full of hate, but we need more greats of greatness. I don't know. I think that it was just a bad move. I called it when they made the move. Like, they're going to be horrible, and they were. And that was just from like a basketball, like X's and O's standpoint of personnel and the team. Like they like I said, Luka is the same position as Kyrie, so they kind of double overlap each other. But then it's like all that concentrated, really good greatness in that one place, and then the rest of the team suffers, and there's no defense, and there's all kinds of different. Yeah, I could have called this as soon as they made the move. I was like, Dallas is going to be horrible after this. Everybody's saying, "Oh, Dallas is going to be good with Kyrie and Luka." I was like, I didn't buy it, and it happened exactly how I thought it would. G saying maybe our motto next year should be win at all costs necessary. That was our motto like 2 years ago. It was win, 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 win. Just win. Expect to win. Win, win, win. There was a lot of that like a couple of years ago, last year when we played really well last year. That was our whole thing. They played it before every game. You'd hear them going win, 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 win. I like that. I like that. Seymour saying, got back $6K from my taxes, missed in 2021. Wow. That's some good tax break there, or tax money back. Time to buy gold, buy precious metals. My Raptor freaks trust me. Buy gold, silver, and copper. All right, some good information, some advice from Seymour Pape today. Buy gold, buy silver, buy copper. That's right. Go buy them and get the gold because we want to be number one, baby. None of this silver or copper, second or third. You want that number one spot. So buy gold. Top saying the worst Raps era wasn't the expansion period. It was 2004 to 2012. I can agree with this. There was a buzz around the team in 95 to 97. Other cities made fun of us, but Raptors were big here. Mighty Mouse was exciting. The first year was really fun. The second year, and then the third year, those were tough years. Those were really hard years. Seriously, because in some ways the luster did come off of it after the first season. It wasn't as like, some people were like, oh, the novelty of it is still new, but not to the ones that were really in the trenches and like paying attention to them a lot, like me. It was kind of it was frustrating because I wanted them to do better and better, but they got worse. They had their first season was okay, and then they had a worse record their second season. And that's part of what was frustrating, was that you were kind of looking at progress of trying to ramp up, and they were kind of like, they were better their first season, and they were worse their second season. And that was aggravating about that. But I will agree with you that that period after Vince left up until Kyle Lowry showed up was very dark, very, very dark. Even the first year or so of DeMar's career here was not nice. Wasn't nice in itself. Cowboys saying, I would like to see Ron Harper Jr. get some good minutes. I like his size and the way he plays. Yeah, we should see some Ron Harper Jr. today, hopefully. Maybe a good whole quarter of Ron Harper Jr., maybe 20 minutes of Ron Harper Jr. We'll have to see how the rotation goes today. Seymour saying, I remember when they played in the old Maple Leaf Gardens, Skydome games, the 500 level. Yeah, I've seen them play in all the different venues. I went to a couple Maple Leaf Gardens Raptors games also, and that was fun. It was kind of a weird place. I remember going in there and putting my feet up on the chair in front of me, and the usher yelled at me. Oh my gosh. It was before I started working for them. And I ended up going to work with that usher later on, but he was so mad at me. He's like, you should not show disrespect for this building. We're about to close down because we're moving to the Air Canada Center. Yeah, he got really mad at me. There was nobody sitting near me. I just wanted to prop myself up. He's like, get your legs off those chairs. It was a preseason game. It was crazy. Mike saying the Barney image. Hang on. Okay. I don't want to go too long today, guys. So don't write any much more. Okay. The Barney image pushed people to not claim Toronto. That's why Cardinal official isn't like as much. He disowned us. When Drake started going the six, had a different image. Our image was terrible, in my opinion. Yeah, but in some ways, I agree with Tabatop. Who cares what the other people thought and stuff like that? It was real easy to make fun of us, though. We really did turn around and make our team way cooler. And part of it was dropping purple, and part of it was Drake coming in and helping us with our style, for sure. For sure. Yeah, it wasn't, it wasn't like you were a laughing stock. That's what I'm saying. You couldn't be proud to be a Raptors fan at that time. They were losing. There was nothing you could brag about. You had ugly swag. In some ways, you were kind of hiding the fact that you were a Raptors fan. Even in the city, a lot of people would make fun of you for being a Raptors fan, opposed to like being a Blue Jays or a Leaf fan. There was a lot of stigma with it, a lot more than you would think. And maybe little kids didn't feel it at that time, but older people, they were like, I was in my 20s and a young adult, and when I moved to Toronto, it wasn't totally cool to be a Raptors fan. It really wasn't. In 1998, there were a lot of people who would kind of, there were Leaf Nation was around, and they kind of bullied Raptors Nation to a degree at that point. Like the Leafs Nation was bullying Raptors Nation to a degree, as far as like we're the team in Toronto and all this kind of stuff. In some ways, maybe they felt threatened already, and they were kind of already trying to push us down. Let's see. Jimmy's saying, I still have faith in this team. We are 17-12 since February 1st. I still like this team and its coach and believe they can succeed. Everybody needs to come correct and put that work in together at the gym. Yeah, I like all that. That sounds good to me. We have had a really good record since the beginning of February. One of the top teams in the league, actually, with our record for the most part. Troy Henry saying, I started playing basketball last summer, and I'll tell you, I'm addicted. Can't wait for Tuesday nights to come each week. As a Jamaican, basketball wasn't my thing until I moved to Canada watching the Raptors. Troy, you play on Tuesday nights? Listen, man, I need to come join a rec league or something like that. If you guys are playing any organized basketball in the Toronto area and you guys need more players, let's recruit some of the people from this channel and let's go play, because I'm all about it. Race One saying, Lex, I think you're being too hard on Nick Nurse. The timing of Doug Smith article may have gotten to his head. Yeah, I don't know. I hope I am in some ways, but in some ways, it really is pointing all the signs to what's happened here. I mean, what I theorized about wind shaving, it could very well be possible. I mean, the evidence is there. There were a lot of games that were like inexplicably lost, and it didn't make any sense to me. So I don't know. If there's a road back for Nick Nurse and he's still our coach next season, I will be happy because it'll mean that I'm wrong. And in some ways, I do want things to be not totally fractured with Nick, but I really feel like they are. I feel like nobody can trust him. And if the players have tuned him out for most of the season, then what the fuck? How are we going to be able to keep him around? If the players don't like him or want him as the coach, there's going to be a change. Race Mode saying, Lex, I think you're okay. Yeah, that's the one I just read. G saying, that's a cool story, Troy. W to Troy. Yeah, keep shooting, Troy. I want to get out there and shoot some hoops with Troy. Yeah. Smooth saying, I remember 96, 97 with Marcus Camby and Tracy McGrady. I also remember the Raptors trading for Sharon Wright. He gave Patrick Ewing the business in a game. What a time. Yeah, Sharon Wright. That was kind of a sad story that happened with him. He got in a car accident in Georgia and it really messed up his legs and it ended his career a little early. But yeah, he was an interesting big man for the Raptors at that period of time. And it's that period of time before Vince showed up where it was like, Isaiah was still kind of around, but he's about to leave. And like Butch Carter had just came in as a coach. Darrell Walker had been a failure. And things were like a little bit topsy turvy on the team at that time. There was a lot of like weird shit. Like there was actually a feud between Butch Carter and Marcus Camby going on our team between the coach and one of our high draft picks. And that was really weird. G saying, what confused me with Nick is we don't have a bench mob like that. So the lack of staggering starters with bench made no sense. I'm a Nurse fan, so this situation bothers me, but it seems mutual. Yeah, that's the thing. I think that Nurse is ready for new challenges and he wants to go somewhere else. And we can't stop him. If it's not working anymore, we can't force it to try and just make the family stay together. That's why I really think that this is going to happen, that there's no way around it. Cool Cat saying, at first I said no to M.A. Adoka, but redemption is also available to him. I really want an offense movement type coach with roles definition. I accept whoever we hire. Yeah, I mean, we got to trust Masai. In some ways, he may not be the most attractive person to the Raptors nation, but in some ways, he is very attractive in the ideas of what he might be able to get out of our guys. I just want to make sure that he really honors being the coach here if he does come here and coach. And it's not going to be some sort of weird thing where he wants to coach here for like 2 or 3 years and then all of a sudden he flips it and goes somewhere else for a different profile job or something like that. Yeah, I don't want that. We don't want to be a stepping stone. We want somebody who long term wants to be our coach for a while and really starts an institution and the foundation of their program here in a way like Spoelstra or Kerr or Popovich. And if Adoka doesn't want to commit for that long period of time with us, then I don't necessarily want to even get started with him. I want somebody that's going to stick around and be here for a while. That's why, in some ways, my first choice really is Earl Watson. Like he's the one I kind of want them to give the job to. Top saying, I'm very wary of all Klutch clients. Yeah, I can get behind this. Nick Nurse, Fred, Gary are all angling for bags. Nick Nurse will leave regardless. Fred and Gary will stay if they get paid, but I say addition by subtraction. Start fresh. Yeah, in some ways, I don't know. We've worked well with Klutch, and even the media people have said Klutch has a good relationship with Masai Ujiri, and we've been able to work with them. It may be that we work better with Klutch than most teams in the NBA because in some ways Masai's no nonsense, and maybe Rich Paul really respects Masai in certain ways that are different than other teams. And that may be part of the reason why we can deal with them a little bit better than other people. But I'm with you. I am very suspicious of Klutch and anybody who's associated with them, especially Nick right now. So, Fred will probably stay. I think Fred's going to stay. All signs are pointing to Fred's re-signing or just staying here for next year. Now, Gary, I don't know. I really don't know. He's very aloof. Mike's saying, just saying, we don't know exactly what's happening in the locker room. Like Chris or Alvin said, there's things in the locker room that will never come out. So how can we have a clear picture without that info? That's right. And hopefully it's not even crazier and more complicated than we're speculating. We need this to be an easy fix, hopefully, and a fix where you can just make a couple of moves this summer, Masai, and everything gets cleared up, and the Raptors are just more functional next season. This is what all the fans want. MSJ saying, Jean Tabak. I met him at a place called The Rocket. He met John Tabak at The Rocket. That sounds crazy. That sounds like some sort of weird 50s science fiction movie with Leslie Nielsen, like Planet 5, Plan to Mars or something like that. We must meet Jean Tabak at The Rocket, guys. Bring the monkey. Yes, we'll bring the monkey. Yeah, we got to make sure the monkey comes with us. Yeah, let's get on the rocket, Jean Tabak. He's the alien Jean Tabak. Yeah, let's let him get on the rocket. Troy Henry saying, thanks, Isaac. Thanks, G. Thanks, Cowboy. Yeah, Troy, keep going with your balling out, man. I'm all about, like, seriously, if you got a league and you need people, I'm old head, I'll come down there and mess around for a little bit. I might need to be on the bench, but I could be maybe a contributor. We'll see. Duke saying, if Nick Nurse was wind shaving this season, you have to believe that Masai might be behind the whole thing. play for ninth and benefit from the rule, get some playoff experience, and get a good draft pick. Yeah, I don't know why they would target this particular place if they're trying to do manipulative stuff like that. Like in some ways, I don't think that it was smart. And if he's doing it for Masai, okay, then it wouldn't be that Masai would be mad at him for it. I don't know. Once again, these are speculative ideas. Just trying to search for answers with all the questions we have about the dysfunction of the Raptors. That's all this is right now. We don't know what's true. Shirkan saying in a lot of ways, Nick needed a player like Kawhi's caliber to make up for his inadequacies. Just not being able to get the best of the roster is his Achilles heel. We need a coach to get in your face. Yeah, I think he gets in people's face, and he's very good at that kind of stuff. And who knows how he is behind closed doors with the players. But once again, we talked about how he came in and inherited a team from Coach Casey that was very much ready to burst with championshipness. And now our team isn't that kind of level team. He's not the right kind of coach for this period in our franchise. That we need a development coach like Casey at this point again, and that Nick Nurse is a win now, win a championship kind of coach, and this team isn't at that level. And in some ways, he stymies our development because he's not that kind of coach right now. So Cowboys saying also got some bags of crypto. It's cheap. Get some crypto cash. Buy some crypto is what financial advice today on our channel. Buy gold, buy silver, buy copper, buy crypto. That's what we're saying today. Diversify your funds, people. Diversify your funds. All right, let's keep going. Jimmy's saying, come on, Lex. Nick is not sabotaging our team. Those close games we lost as a team, not executing plays, bad shot selection, etc. I can't name how many teams we shot like 15% for three as a team. All right. Bring me back to reality. Maybe I am going too crazy with National Enquirer kind of thinking, tabloid kind of shit. I don't know. It could be possible. But all right, I want to try and believe what you guys are saying. Smooth saying, I think the second season was Darrell Walker. Horrible coach. He thought McGrady was not going to amount to anything. Yeah. There were some bad ones in there. Brandon Malone was okay for the first season. Darrell Walker was bad. Butch Carter had his problems. He had some success though, but Butch Carter had problems for sure. G saying, I don't believe Nick sabotaged either. It could just be in his adjustments. Assistant coaches may not be at the level we require either. I don't believe that. I want to see Earl Watson. I think Earl Watson is going to be a fantastic coach. And in some ways, I'm very excited about the idea of him crafting the plans for our team in some ways, if he's going to be the replacement for Nick. So I'm glad that you guys are standing up for Nick more and more. In some ways, I am very much coming after him, but it is because I'm scapegoating. But I do like to hear that you guys are not inclined naturally to want to come after Nick, because that's important, because he is like somebody who's important to our franchise from the last few years, and somebody who's actually going to be a big part of our history forever, for sure. It's just that, right now I'm just pissed off about the season, and I'm just blaming him. Coolcast saying there will be lots of trades, player movement this summer. Lots of teams are mid, so everybody wants to improve. Yeah, it'll be very interesting. It'll be much more active this year, I think, than most years. Wayne saying playoff game against the Sixers before Joel's winning shot. Fred covering the player inbounding at the line, and Nick calls him away to go over to the basket, which allowed the inbounder a clear view. Bad coaching. Yeah, there's been bad coaching. Atlanta, AJ Griffin, bad coaching. That's bad coaching. That is. There's definitely been bad coaching. Like, I'm not crazy. I know that he's coached poorly this year. In fact, he's had more mistakes this year than any other year that he's coached for the Raptors. He had better decision-making and better outcomes in the Tampa year in some ways than this year. And in some ways, the team played harder and better in the Tampa year than it did this year. And that's some of the stuff that pisses me off. Is like we had a much harder year, and we had in some ways had much more success and stuck together and played harder and stayed together better in the Tampa year than we did this year. And that's why I'm pissed off, and I'm wondering what's going on. Logical saying facts, like in the closet as a Raps fan, Leafs fans were terrible. Yeah, that time was really bad. And that's part of the reason why I don't like the Leafs, is because of how it was around that time. Well, at this point, I don't even listen to any of the Leafs people or see any of their stuff, and I'm not around any of them, so I don't hear it anymore. I'm sure it's not the same anymore like it has been because of all the playoff runs, all the success we've had, while they're still having trouble just getting past the first round. So they don't have really a place to talk. We won a championship and all this kind of stuff. So at this point, the Leaf fans can't really lord anything over the Raptors fans like they could around 99 when I started working at the Air Canada Center. Duke's saying we tanked for Barnes, even though we could make the playoffs in Tampa. I wouldn't put it past Masai to do a strategic tank this season. If that's the case, Nick Nurse will still be the coach next year. If we were strategically tanking, we failed. We did too much winning then. I would have liked to have lost way more and not even messed with the play-in, if this was the case. The fact that we bought in and kept all our guys together at the trade deadline doesn't signal that we were strategically tanking this season. We really did meet right in the middle. If we were going to be really bad, we need to be like Detroit. If we were going to be better and try and win, we would have done better and gotten a playoff spot. So we're right in the middle, and that's why I don't think we did exactly what we wanted to do this year. I don't think there was any strategic tanking. I really don't. I think we were trying to win this whole time. G saying, I believe Masai has his eye on someone too. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. Shirkan saying, W stream for the last home game of the season. Let's go get them Bucks. Did we do the mascot matchup already? Looking forward to the play-in. Should be fun. Let's go. All right, we'll do it right now since it's a good cue card. Thank you, Shirkan. All right, so the last time we saw the real mascot match, the Raptor is being arrested by Officer Ed Malloy at the convenience store, much to the chagrin of Officer Brothers, who is very much trying to protect the Raptor at this point because he believes he's an innocent man. But Officer Malloy is corrupt. He's not a good cop. He's a bad cop, and he just has a personal vendetta because he was made a fool of by a yak throwing him into the ditch. So they're in the police car and they're driving to the station, and the Raptor's in handcuffs in the back of the car, and he is going to jail. And they're going to arraign him, and he's going to go see a judge, and he's in there, and they don't know how long he's going to be in there because it could be that he's in there for the summer. We'll have to see. Well, he has one last chance. He has a chance to appear in court in front of the judge and plead his case about whether he's innocent or not. And this is going to be his last chance to buck the system and get out of it and get out of this whole situation. We have to find out today. This is his very last chance to freedom. And if he doesn't get the buck the system, then he will be in jail for the rest of the summer. So I don't want the Raptor to be in jail. So please win today, Raptors. It's all decided on whether you guys win the game against Milwaukee today. And Judge Dragic. Yeah, we're going to make Dragic the judge, Goran. Goran is the judge, and you have to stand in front of him, and you need to beat him today so that you don't go to jail for 3 months before the next real mascot matchup happens next season. There will be one more story or a couple stories, depending on how we do in the postseason. But this may be one of the last real mascot matchups for this season. And we're going to end it on the note that he's in jail. Maybe we will. We'll have to see next time on the real mascot matchup. We'll have to see how he pleads his case to Judge Dragic. Tragic. Go wrong. Tragic. Yeah. Let's see. Shane Waters is here. Good to see Shane. Happy Easter, friends. May the Raps hone their inner Easter vibes and get them bunnies tonight. I don't want them missing any bunnies. They better make all their bunnies. Those close shots where they hop next to the basket and just put it in. No missing shots like Bismack would. Miss those bunnies a few years ago. The Bismack Biombo missed bunnies. Yeah, we don't want that. We want to make them bunnies for sure. Good to see you, Shane. Happy Easter. Cowboy saying, no problem, Troy. It's kind of funny how you brought that up. It's kind of like me. I was born in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Calgary, Alberta, Canada, just like Landstorm. But when my mom brought me and my twin down here, that's all we did when we moved to Scartown. Yeah, so he got all about playing the basketball once he moved to the city from Calgary. Calgary is the city too. But he came east, and then he got into basketball. And Jimmy Pope is shaking his head. Let's see. Race Mode saying, I'm not taking my wife to games if M.A. Udoka is coaching. Nah, Race Mode. People are laughing at Race Mode. All right, you know what? I'm going to give you a dunk for that. That's pretty funny. Race Mode's getting a dunk. Is he on the list yet? No, he's not. Race Mode, you're getting your first dunk today for saying you would not bring your wife to the game if we hire M.A. Udoka as the coach. That is funny. Huh? That's funny. Let's see. Seymour saying, if all this comes with winning the championship, I'll take it. We did Coach of the Year Casey dirty, but we won a championship in the process. I will take it. All part of the game. That's right. It's cutthroat. The game is a game, and Masai is our dude. And we know this dude will make the tough decisions, the very risky tough decisions, and hopefully they will pay off because they're not like gambles. They're very calculated risks, and they're risks that can possibly really pan out big, like a Kawhi Leonard trade. So that's the thing. This dude that did the Kawhi Leonard trade is in charge of our team. So this summer could be very interesting to see if there's anything kind of crazy like the Kawhi Leonard trade for our Raptors coming up. And that's what I'm saying. If this all comes with winning a championship somehow, some way, eventually, Seymour is in. He's in for it because he knows there's a chance. And we know there's always a chance with Masai steering the ship. Shane saying race mode with the windmill dunk. Wham! Yeah, see, he called it already. I gave him the dunk for that one. Duke saying, imagine if the Raps were playing possum this whole season and shocked the NBA in the playoffs. It's way off there, but anything is possible. That is crazy. They should have shown much better practice of playing high-level basketball going into the postseason. That's not something that teams do. They can't play possum like this and just turn it on. That's more likely that they're going to fail even worse because they're not playing at a high level going in. You've got to be playing like the Celtics were on Friday night to do really well in the postseason going far. And that's the thing. We're not playing well right now. I have no faith in us, in the play-in even, to let alone in a playoff series that, we're not playing well enough. You got to ramp up before. You can't just turn it on all of a sudden like then. No, you're too late. You got to have it done. Cowboys saying 360 windmill dunk for race mode. You guys are giving him like not only a windmill dunk, but a 360 Scotty Barnes windmill dunk. I like that. And he got it. Trust me, he got it. You guys want me to give him a double dunk because you guys are saying that so bad? You can get a double dunk today, race mode. You get 2 points for that funny haha. Yeah. All right, let's see. Infamous is saying morning. Teams are salivating for Nick to become available. Everything wants a talk. Everyone you talk to in the States wants him to coach their team. Yeah, it's true. There's a lot of people thinking about it that way and stuff like that. In some ways, that's part of the problem is he's a hot commodity and he probably wants more money and maybe he wants to stick it to Masai this summer and with Klutch. He said, you really want me to stay here? How much? And I was like, well, fuck, Nick, you fucking shat the bed right at the end of the season. Why should we trust you or want you around anymore? In some ways, like, I don't know. They got to come eye to eye on this as far as like, where they're seeing things. And Masai and Nick are still cool and they like each other and there's still a really tight friendship and they can work it out and make it work with the money and all the ideas and stuff like that. Okay. But in some ways, like I said, he's got to ingratiate himself with trust with the average Raptors fan at this point. And that's going to be a road down the road. He's going to have to show us that he really is coaching his ass off like crazy, trying his ass off and getting successful results. And then we'll start to feel good about him again if he is going to be our coach next season still. So that's the only road I see for him to be getting back in my good graces. He's got to get results and make us win again, and then we're all forgotten, and we'll be back in the right place and a happy place. But yeah, everybody down there wants him too. They think that they've seen what he's done with us, and they think that he'll magically come down there and fix a lot of things for them. And in some ways, he may actually do that for certain teams. Mike's saying, not gonna lie, apparently there's rumors of the Pistons looking at their options at head coach. Casey could be out. Not 100% sure, though, on the source of the rumor. Not gonna lie. Wouldn't it be weird if, like, Nick Nurse was coaching the Pistons and we got Casey back? Some people would be like, what the fuck? Why do we have Casey back? But in some ways, he would actually kind of probably help us right now. Seymour's giving you the cup, too, race mode. Troy's saying, bro, I'm nowhere close to Toronto area. I'm in Ontario in a place called Dryden in the middle of Thunder Bay in Manitoba. Okay, so I wouldn't be able to play with you. Well, I'm glad that you get a league out there, way up there. That's like over the Great Lakes, like over on that side of things. Holy crap. So you might be closer to Manitoba than you are to Toronto. Okay, Troy Henry. Well, I'm glad to know where you are, and I'm glad to know that you guys got good basketball out there and stuff like that. Okay. Good to know. Well, if anybody here in town is playing here in Toronto, let me know. Top of Top saying Brendan Malone wanted to win more versus development. His philosophies clashed with management after season 1. That's true. That is true. And he did win a lot considering things. Like they did have some good quality guys from the expansion draft. There were some players that came here that were actually pretty decent players in our first year. And with Damon Stoudemire, they did all right. Alvin Robertson, Willie Anderson, Ed Pickney, Oliver Miller, Carlos Rogers. Wayne Strainer saying Nick Nurse has proven to be outcoached. Earl Watson, next Raptors coach. Nick Nurse needs to take Gleason with him too. Wow. Yeah. I mean, I feel like he's been outcoached. He's been outcoached by Joe Mazzulla. He's been outcoached by Doc Rivers. He's been outcoached by Eric Spoelstra. There's been definitely games where I've said, yeah, Nick got totally outcoached by the other coach. For sure, that's happened this year. Mike saying, Lex, I show in my recent video, Masai changed expectations in the process of the season. There was a planned change from what was said. I tried to stick close to his words on the trends in the evaluation. Interesting. Mike, I'm going to definitely watch that this afternoon. Fiercely saying, where do you get the creativity for narrating these mascot matchups on the fly? It's literally improv. In some ways, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. In some ways, maybe today I'm ripping off Seinfeld. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like ripping off other things from other stories. It's a mix of a lot of things. But yeah, I don't make these up like ahead of time. I really do make them up on the fly right in this instance. So yeah. Duke Rocks is saying the way I see it, 6 was possible at a certain point. When it wasn't possible, we looked terrible. Looked like we weren't playing for 9th. Masai doesn't want any part of 7th or 8th, so he doesn't like the rule. I want 7th or 8th. I think if we could have gotten 8th, we would have. But Atlanta just continued to win, and some teams just didn't do good enough to beat them. And then, of course, the AJ Griffin thing is becoming such a crucial play this whole entire season. In fact, that may be the most crucial play that happened to the Raptors this whole entire season for determining their season and what's happened with them. That messing up and losing that game against Atlanta in the last second very much has impacted whether we're going to have a better chance to get through the play-in or not. It means like 2 games versus 1. So it's really bad. It's really, really bad. Really, really bad. Fiercely saying, I foresee Earl Watson taking over and Rico will be the one sitting beside him in the front row. Could be. Could very well be. All right, y'all, let me do a real quick recap and we'll get out of here. The injuries for today from Milwaukee. Pat Connaughton, it's his ankle. AJ Green, it's his foot. Brooke Lopez, he's just an idiot. Chris Middleton, it's his knee. Giannis, it's his knee. Drew Holiday, it's rest. And Grayson Allen has an ankle that's messed up, and he's been out for a while. He's not coming back either. So that is a lot of Milwaukee Bucks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of the main Bucks will be out today. So we're speculating their starting lineup may look like this. Javon Carter, Goran Dragic, Joe Ingles, Jay Crowder, and Bobby Portis is looking like that may be their starting lineup. Goran Dragic, that's right. Meanwhile, on our side, we will be sitting Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, Jeffrey Doughton Jr., and Otto Porter Jr. So I'm speculating that our starting lineup today will be Will Barton, Gary Trent Jr., Scotty Barnes, Precious Achua, and Jakob Poeltl. That's who I think will be starting today. The referees for today are John Goble, Rodney Mott, and Aaron Smith. All 3 referees favor the Milwaukee Bucks. So we'll have to see how it goes today. Not the best ref. Well, the refs are pretty good, but they all statistically favor the Bucks. It's just how it is. But with all those guys sitting for the Bucks, we need to win this game. Let's have some pride and let's get the 500 for the season, Raptors. Make this season a 500 season. You have the ability to do it today. In some ways, the Bucks are already signaling they're ready to roll over for us today. So we need to go and make sure we win. If we don't win today and we fail to get to 500 today, I'm going to blame Nick Nurse once again. I'll blame the hell out of him for the failure of not being able to beat a very, very bad, like not bad, but a very like not the normal Milwaukee Bucks team. That we need to beat this team. Let's just have some pride and just beat them. Jeez Louise. Holy crap. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying, and we'll wrap it up real fast. Cowboys saying hour and a half, tell game time. Hour and a half. Yeah, we're almost there. It's 11:30. We're going to start at 1 o'clock. Let's go, everyone. Enjoy your day. Later, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Let's go. Raptors for life. Bam, 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 bam. W stream from Mike. Isaac saying from 9th to 1st. That was a good championship run. Yeah, we could try if we can do it. Race Mode saying, I actually thought about Seinfeld finale when you were going over the mascot matchup. Thanks for my first dunk. Have a great day. W stream. See you guys at the parade. Yeah, I do rip off stuff. I was thinking about the Seinfeld finale too in this whole thing, and it could very well end up that way. I hope he's free though. I hope that he gets to walk, and it's all going to be decided today. I'm not going to decide it from the playoff games. It's going to be decided today. The judgment will be made from the game today, and whether they win or not. Let's see. Shane's saying the NBA didn't want the Raps even in the play-in with the schedule they gave the Raps. That's right. They set up a really tough year for us. And well, let's win this last game against Milwaukee today. All right, guys. Thanks for watching me. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Put me on blast if you feel like it. It all helps me. It really, really does. You guys are my best promotion in some ways. Word of mouth, and just telling me, hey, I enjoy watching this guy. You like the Raptors too? Well, this is a place for all the people that really love the Raptors to come here and try not to be toxic. Oh my gosh. Blessings up, bless up to you, Omari, also, man. Have a good one. And let's go, Edmund. You guys have a great Easter. Have a fantastic day. And I'll be back tomorrow to react to the game. All right, Raptors, don't mess around. Let's get 500 today. Let's end this regular season on a good note and get out of jail. All right, y'all. Let's go Raptors, and fuck you, Goran. Yeah.